Hey guys, before we get into this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast, I gotta tell you, this episode is brought to you by this crazy evil live event on history. Evel Knievel, as you probably know, is known for attempting some of the most dangerous epic motorcycle stunts of all time. And now, American motorsports icon Travis Pastrana will honor the legendary Daredevil by attempting 3 of his most dangerous feats in Las Vegas, Nevada. He'll attempt these 3 daring jumps, all while riding a modern-day recreation inspired by the motorcycle Evel Knievel used in this 3-hour live event. Travis will attempt to jump 52 cars, 16 buses, and the Caesars Palace fountain, an attempt that ended with a crash that left Evel gasping for life. That's in case you missed it. 52 cars, 16 buses, and the Caesars Palace fountain. That is ridiculous. Tune in to find out what happens. Evel Live kicks off Car Week on History Sunday, July 8th. That's Sunday, July 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on History. All right, now, think of all the weird things found in cars. I'm not talking your garden variety, petrified French fries. I'm not talking about your melted crayons. I'm talking live snakes, bizarre trinkets, the kind of stuff that makes you wonder about, folks. Another thing that will make you wonder, but in a good way, are Continental belts. I bet you didn't know they're OE in tens of millions of Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, and GM vehicles that roll off the assembly line. They're also OE on the majority of BMWs and Volkswagens. Now, Continental is launching the aftermarket Multi-V belt with the OE pedigree. It's their OE technology series, belts that are fanatically engineered for perfect fit, form, and function. And Continental has an OE technology series Multi-V belt for 98% of the vehicles on the road in the US and Canada. Hey, you got enough surprises working on cars and trucks. A belt should not be one of them. Go with the Continental OE Technology Series Multi-V belt, the belt with the OE pedigree. To get the full story, visit oetechnologyseries.com. That's oetechnologyseries.com. Last but not least, this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast brought to you by Autotempest.com. You know what I hate? I hate double work. I like work. Work is good. Work builds character and the universe rewards hustle. But you know what I hate is doing the same work twice. That's why I don't go to these individual car sites to find cars I'm looking for. Whether it's a specific car, whether I'm just browsing around, no matter what it is, I go to Autotempest.com because Autotempest.com searches all the top car sites at once for me. Saves me all that extra work. I'm telling you, they look at Craigslist, they look at AutoTrader, they look at eBay, they look at Cars Direct, Car Soup, whatever Car Soup is. I've never even been to Car Soup, but Auto Tempest finds it. If someone is dumb enough to list their car on Car Soup, Auto Tempest will find it there. No special codes, no special discounts needed. We love talking about Auto Tempest. They've taken really good care of us over the years. So check them out at Autotempest.com. Whether you're browsing or target searching, they are there for you. Okay. On this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast, we got an old friend, Mr. Michael O'Neill. He is the host of the Solopreneur Hour, which is a podcast about entrepreneurship, business, and that kind of stuff, the cult of personality that surrounds it. We don't actually talk about that much on this show. Instead, we talk about Porsches and go all over the world in wild tangents. But it's a great episode. He has earned himself an open invitation. Michael O'Neill from the Solopreneur Hour. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Here we go.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello, folks. Welcome to, what day is it? Wednesday afternoon. Never know what day it is because days don't really seem to actually matter. It's just like a grid with like blocks in it, but it's a beautiful day in Los Angeles. Welcome to the show. This is Michael O'Neill of the Solopreneur Hour. Welcome, sir.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm seconds out of my car driving from San Diego to LA.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize you really just came from San Diego.
Oh, and if you could feel my butt Well, here's what you would feel.
I bet it's firm.
We are
delicious.
on video, Matt. Would you like to feel?
Here's
Can I poke it with a pen? Like a
here's
bear?
what you'd feel. It would be dry. And
Why
you know
is it
why
so
that is?
dry?
Because I have air conditioning in my car.
Oh shit! This man rolled up in a vintage Porsche that has air conditioning. But hang on, is that mic active, Tim? Just
No.
in case. We need a
turn
second
it on
opinion on that. Dana, just come in for 1 second. This is Michael's friend Dana. Can you verify? I don't believe him. Can you verify the veracity of the air conditioning claim?
I'm wearing jeans and a long sleeve T-shirt and a long sleeve shirt, and it was glorious.
Delightful.
Delightful.
What would you guess the temperature in the car was in Fahrenheit?
Ooh, we talked about that. I think it was 73 outside.
Uh huh.
We were like a
73
cool,
isn't
it was a
exactly.
little
It's not
hotter.
exactly
No,
cooking.
Hold on. It was a little
Really?
hotter at some point. It was in the early 80s.
Okay. And
I don't know.
Approved?
Inside?
68?
Definitely.
60 something?
that's that new vintage like air conditioning for Porsches,
It's the
right?
classic retrofit. And
Yeah.
it's I literally just spent the last 10 days installing it, and I'm still raw from
Is
all
that
the
why
fabrication.
you have like perma-grip hands right now?
It's like I
You
had
have,
to do
like,
so much
You
fabrication.
have like gripping atrophied hands right now.
They made that kit for the G-bodied car like your Safari.
I'm getting that kit.
It's an amazing kit.
I'm so glad.
Plug and play. If
Dana,
you
feel
have
free to
it,
stay on the mic and jump in. Fuck it, if you want.
plug and play for that car. But for my car, which is an early, 69 to 73 long hood 911, it has battery boxes in the way,
It's
and
very,
you have to.
It's a very nice car.
Thank you. But I had to completely fabricate all the stuff to make it work. Not completely, but I had to move the condenser to the rear quarter panel and do a lot of placement stuff that isn't part of the normal kit.
What's your Instagram, Michael, so I can pull up some
It's-
pictures of this car?
It's Wrench, RENNCH,
And,
but it's got underscores, but maybe I can, there it is.
There it is on either side. That would have been a tough one to get on Instagram, but it's
Yeah.
it's a good name.
Thank you.
Wrench. I like
New
that.
hats are 24 hours old.
Are those flex fit?
Yeah, baby.
Dude, hook it up. Do you have an extra? I'll fuck with that.
How big is your
Not
noggin?
that big. Not that big.
Hold
I
on,
don't
see
need
if-
yours.
See if that one works. I only got
usually wear just the medium large. This
I only
will work.
got 2 of them.
Oh, that's good.
All right, you
No,
can't have
I'll
that
wait
one.
till you have more though, but I'll fuck with that hat
All right.
for sure.
I'll get you one.
Dude, people don't know. People try and get me to wear shit all the time, and they're like, "Can you wear my thing? I'll pay you like $500." And I'm like, "Dude, all
Wow.
you have to do to get me to wear anything is have it fit well and like be nicely made." Like,
Right,
that's-
don't give me a
that's it.
shitty T-shirt,
Yeah.
and then ask me to wear it.
Yeah,
I
if-
want soft and vintagey.
If you give me like a sweet shirt, even if it says some shit, I have a shirt that says like something garage on it, and it's like someone's real shop.
Right.
And then like I don't know what the fuck it says or what it means. Oh, here's Michael's car for video, folks. That's it. It's
Well,
the sexy bitch.
the
It's the very sexy bitch. That's a Luft photo.
I was going to show you. It is from last year. I was going to show you the my Hoyer Carrera, the '73 Hoyer Carrera that was right next to that photo on my Instagram.
Your watches. We can't talk about watches.
I know,
on the
we're
show.
not allowed, but
you
it's
get 10
that
seconds.
guy
You get
right
10
there.
Go right now, Tim. You get 10 seconds to talk about watches, and then the fucking people just revolt.
Nine.
So
That was my first big
lovely.
boy watch, and then the watch guy that tuned it up for me in San Diego said you can't wear this every day. So then I got
it's very
this one
nice.
that you can bang on a door.
Yeah, is that a Submariner?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can beat the shit
You
out
can
of
do
a
whatever, I
Submariner.
don't
Yeah,
care.
they're
That's fine.
great.
I just
That's
get NATO
very
straps.
pretty.
Thank you.
That's a very pretty watch, and also I like your macro lens.
My
Did you
macro
shoot
lens.
that?
I did.
Who took
Yeah.
that picture?
Yeah, I did.
Whatever that macro lens is to shoot that, it looks great. It's like a really,
I want to
really
say it was
nice.
I
photo.
want to say it was my iPhone.
Was it? Do you have an X?
No, but I took that. That was like 3 years ago. I took that photo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Tim scrolled way the fuck far down your Instagram.
No, it's just an old photo.
Oh, well, it's, whatever lens it is, that watch looks great.
pretty.
That's all I'm trying to say.
It's pretty.
That's all I'm trying to say.
That was me when I was selling it. I sold it like 2 months ago.
Oh, you did?
I did.
What'd you get?
Well,
Oh, the IRS agent isn't. Is the tax man listening on this one?
Never mind. No,
All
but
right. Did you do well?
did really well.
That's what's
actually.
important.
Yeah, yeah.
I
did well.
more care if you did well than how much the number is. I like your Doug DeMuro. I went to get lumber in my Porsche fucking photo.
It's the only one that my roof rack fit on.
Really?
It doesn't fit on my Mini, so I had to put it on the 911.
That's so funny.
I was
What-
building a BMX ramp, and I needed wood.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like your utility. I'm putting on my Safari 911 one of those like baskets. You
I'm
know,
gonna start making those
The
for
baskets?
race wheels.
Oh, a race wheel one would be super cool.
You know what? The
Where
orange
you,
car
and
at
then you
Luft.
take the whole thing off. Yeah.
Remember, so there's like an orange Safari car at Luftgekühlt, and it had one spare rally wheel on it on top. And I remember I took a bunch of detail photos of it because I'm like, I want to make that and do 4 race wheels, and it's going to be a wrench product, I hope.
If it held like 4 wheels standing vertically and then like 2 fuel cans and a toolbox in the middle, or like 2 fuel cans and like 2 jack stands, that'd be pretty kick-ass.
I was going to try to do it flat so it had better aero.
Oh.
But I'm making a tool bag too. That's going to be my one of my first products.
Tool bag?
Yeah, like so on these
Like a
Targa
doctor
events. So on these Targa events, this is my 5th, and we go through Mexico sometimes. You interviewed Derek Whitaker a few months ago.
Yeah.
Just crazy cross, Baja. We've got a support truck, but sometimes you break down in the middle of nowhere.
Are the definition of these Targa events like, you're not racing? I mean, look, is it more, seriously, is it more Gumball or more Baja 1000?
More Gumball than
Okay.
Baja 1000.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's a lot of times when you don't see another car for 2 hours.
Right, but like, that's in Mexico, right?
And sometimes here when we go through kind of the Petroleum Alley and that whole area where all the whoops are.
Yeah, but like,
God,
it's not a closed road. We're not talking
It's
about
not a closed
roads.
road,
Okay.
but three digits is very normal.
Okay, no, that's
for
fine. I just
while.
But
it's not a race.
cool. I just want like expectations to be managed. That's all. Like I didn't know if we were talking about like La Carrera.
No.
Or
no.
Gumball.
You know
what
if
I
you
mean?
need to stop and get gas or get a donut, you stop and get a donut.
Okay, all right.
But
So it's fun driving. It's not racing driving.
super fun.
Yeah.
And it's been my favorite kind of driving because I feel like it's what the car's made for. It's like just this engineering marvel of 45, in my case, 50 years old. And typically when I pull back into my driveway after flogging the shit out of it for 5 days,
Yeah.
I go, what did they do? What did they do 50 years ago to be able to have this experience and then just pull in and go, okay,
Yeah.
we'll see you next time. And you go, well, that's crazy because my Mini's broken down 19 times since I've owned it.
I just finished taking this Lotus to like 4 track days. I had a Lotus Evora press car, a new one, and I did 2,200 miles. I did a full lap of California, LA to San Francisco to San Diego back, and 4 track days and 2,200 miles. And all I did was adjust the tire pressure that's it. Tire pressure down for the track, tire pressure up for the road. Add gas, drive. I mean, when I tell you I didn't do fuck all, and I ran the air conditioning at 107 degrees, I can tell you I lost about 1.5 seconds a lap running air conditioning at Willow Springs. But like, it was 107 degrees, so fuck off. I don't care about that lap.
Let me say 2 things. Number 1, your video that you just did with the Lamborghini Performante.
Oh, yeah.
was one of the most fun. I swear.
Why?
Because
I mean, it was first off, it's a 900 horsepower Lamborghini, so that's inherently kind of fun. But
because 2 things. It was this. I commented on this. If you guys haven't watched that yet and you've subscribed to this channel, go watch that Lamborghini Performante. It's a one take, right? It's about 20 minutes long.
At the racetrack, it's a long one.
And it's about 20 minutes, and you in a almost Chris Harris way, which is one of the higher compliments I can give,
Thank you.
are ringing this thing out to 175 miles an hour while you're chatting to your camera.
It was so stable.
My
It was so
own
easy.
sphincter was tightened
It was
watching
so
that.
easy.
I have I want to go. One of my bucket list items is to go 200. I've never been that fast. in my
Totally
life.
doable.
But
Reasonable and doable.
I'm watching you do this, going, "That's crazy," and then to watch the guy get all gripped, who was in the GT4,
Yeah.
that was like, "Yeah," and you're like, "I'm just having fun," and it was so cool.
Yeah.
I just really loved it. I've been on that
Thanks.
course in my car and going, "Man, that transition from flat bottom to oval is
Yeah.
so sketchy."
It kind of
And
is,
you
yeah.
just-
We're talking
and-
about a California Speedway Auto Club where you go from the flat infield to the banking. It's actually quite a harsh
It is,
transition.
yeah.
It's not smooth. It's like it's like a hard angle.
It's a hard
basically.
angle, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I'm at 30 degrees or whatever."
Yeah, and
it was.
if you have a car that is not set up like correctly, or if you run a weird stagger, like your car can move around quite a lot. That Lamborghini, like the difference between something like the Corvette ZR1, which is insanely fast, and the Lamborghini is like you can do those kinds of speeds and like you not even really you're not even really it's it makes those sorts of speeds way less scary. It's like it's so stable.
My car at 110 is like, I better be focused.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey, stop talking to me, Dana.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't look at my phone. You didn't look at it either. I'm just.
Yeah.
The other thing
That's what
I wanted
makes
to
old
say.
cars kind of great, though, is that you can be going a little slower and
find the limit and have a blast.
Yeah, and also in your car, you'd have to be doing something, or any like old 911, like you have to be doing something pretty fucked up to get pulled over in an old car.
She was
you
like,
can
she was
really
like,
be a dickbag.
She
in
was
an
like,
old
you don't have to
car.
run front plates. I'm like,
No,
not in this car.
no.
I don't.
You
But
don't have to do
in the
anything.
Mini, I do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you can speed. You can go fast.
A lot of thumbs up.
Yeah, and cops are kind of about it, actually.
Here's the other thing. I am, even though I'm not your father figure, I'm so proud of. I keep hitting
Thanks,
the table. I'm
Dad.
sorry, it's like
Yeah.
a podcast rookie move.
For a podcaster.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, usually, never mind. I have
Our new
those.
studio is going to have a table that's like 9 inches thick. It's
I have
gonna
those
be like
arms.
a
You need the arms.
a sequoia tree. You
You
have
need,
a
the,
what?
you need the arms with the.
Oh, we had
you know those
arms.
things?
We had arms. They get in the way of the video.
Oh,
it blocks
that
your
makes sense.
face. That we had to go back to the stands.
But here's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
When I interviewed you 3 years ago, 2015 is when we did whatever
Yeah.
episode for my Solopreneur Hour.
I still send the link to many people who will go, "How did you get your job?" I just go,
Oh, that's
done.
great.
That's exactly what
that's
it's
a
great
high
for.
compliment. You have done such amazing things with your channel and with your entrepreneurial spirit. The fact that you're building this, you literally
Did
just
you
broke
see my
ground.
hole?
Not yet.
It sounds
was it
dirty
right here?
when you say it. It's right here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
we can. I
you're-
texted you. I was over there. I walked over.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll go look at it after.
Yeah,
this,
no.
but-
After the show, I'll show you my hole.
I've
Here,
just-
here it is. Tim, pull it up. It's right here, on the left.
Oh, sick.
Here's the big hole.
dude.
That's about. It's a little deeper now. On the right side, it's probably
Dude.
twice as deep now.
You should drive. You should get a car, like a nice
Dude.
car. No, get a nice car and just put it in the hole and be like, getting close.
I'd like half bury something.
Yeah.
I
Like,
want
we
to
are
like get.
so
I want to
close
get
to
a rally
opening.
car and do donuts down there.
1 week till opening day. Anyway, I was just saying that you. I mean, you've really taken this thing and run with it, and
Thanks, man.
and major props to you.
Thanks.
You've done a great
well,
job.
as from someone who deals exclusively with entrepreneurs, I appreciate that.
Well, you've put it on. You've turned it on.
Oh,
Well done, sir.
the universe rewards hustle. I also have
right.
a lot of white privilege that I
You
appreciate.
don't even look that white, though. Let's be
It's
honest.
Syrian privilege, which is like kind of like
friend,
white,
my
kind of
friend,
like white
my
privilege.
friend, please.
Yeah, but just hairier with a brown tint. It's not like that movie. Well, I just saw a fucking trailer for a movie called Crazy Rich Asians. I swear to God, that's real. There's a real movie. It's basically Meet the Parents, except the parents are like Asian, like Chinese billionaires.
I'm going to show you this guy. This
don't
guy
know
was going
why-
to be on
why-
my. This
why
guy
I
was
was
going to.
thinking of that.
This guy was going to be on my show, and then he's the guy. I don't want to say his name, but I want you to just see
Oh
the
no,
picture.
this isn't good radio.
I want.
I'd have to describe this
but
picture.
I'm going to because that's what
You
I'm
can't,
okay with.
you can't tease this shit.
Trust me. He's
Okay.
he's the entrepreneur guy that always poses with the private jet and the cars and all that stuff. And we were supposed
Yeah.
to interview, and
My friend.
and I discovered this about him, and I was like,
this is gonna be good.
and he is that guy.
Wait,
he is, and I don't want to say his name, but he's probably would have been one of the stars of the movie you just referenced.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I won't say his name. Oh, I love this picture of him doing. I'll reenact the pose. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretend the red curtain behind me is a private jet. Here's the
Right.
pose.
He's just. You are the guru. He is.
It's the hand. It's what you're doing. It's what you're doing with the hands. It's the spread.
It's this.
spread.
It's the spread.
The spread hands.
yeah.
Which is the exact opposite
It's
of
the Fubu
praying.
guy.
It's like this isn't a god. I made this.
This is a guru.
That's-
I am now.
yeah, I'm a
that's the
guru.
guru pose.
Yes.
Anyway, his
I
whole
mean,
thing is
I'd
Lambos
say,
and private jets.
Yeah, it seems he has good taste in jets. It also seems in this particular picture, he's riding in the back of a 2-seat Bentley, which is not what a real billionaire would do. Oh my God, his red suit.
Yeah, I want to
He
be the
looks
guy from Billions.
So that's a daddy money, but don't want to say it, right?
I don't know what that is, but I instantly discovered that I didn't want to talk to him on my show. That's what happened, and it didn't work out.
Oh.
I know, it was a shame.
Well, yeah, when you start posing with private jets, people start asking questions. Private jets aren't cheap. I heard, isn't there a company that will let you there was a company that was letting people, right?
Yeah, you can go to
That's-
the airport
that's Santa
and
Monica
rent it for like a
Airport.
half an hour on the tarmac.
Yeah, you get like $150.
do a photo shoot?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's cell phones only.
Have you met my girlfriend, Elle McPherson? Like, really? That's funny.
Yeah, if you want a fake ball. I was
Dude, I feel like
accusing-
in my world, there's a lot of people with photo shoots of them.
Oh,
in
hell
their,
yeah.
Them in their typically the it's usually the Audi R8. That's like the
wrist steering wheel. Is
little.
that?
There's a little bit of that, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of Audi R8 in that world. There's a lot of that one.
That's too bad. That gives the R8 a bad name. What a great
it's a little
car.
bit.
People aren't buying R8s right now. I know two friends who one owns an Audi store, the other works at an Audi store, and they're both like, dude, we can't move these R8s.
Here's a car question for you. Has anybody done, when you think about first generation Boxster, stripper car, gay guy car, right?
Well, that's...
Right? And then
no,
they changed
no,
it.
No, not right.
And then
Race car.
Oh, stop. And
Race car.
And then they redesigned it
Yeah.
and completely detuned that whole concept of it.
I mean...
Come
do you mean,
on.
what do you mean? They gave it more power and they made it
They
like
made
better
it.
looking?
They machised mode.
Well, okay,
it
I'm
up
not
little
a
bit.
huge fan of first gen Boxsters. I don't like them, but like
Okay.
I think I don't like the hairdresser and now thing applied
Yes.
to sports cars because I think it turns people off of sports cars. Same thing with Miatas.
A little bit. Well, I was just about to say
Yeah,
Miata.
I don't care if you're a dude who buys a Miata. That's not. It's like buy a Miata.
All right.
If it means you buy a Miata instead of like a CX-3 or one of those body cladding Subaru Impreza non-off-roaders,
Yeah,
if
I
it
know
means
what
you buy a Miata instead of that or an old Boxster instead of that, I'm not going to call you gay.
Same category.
I'm
though.
not going to be the, And also, by the way, Tim, scroll down on Instagram there. Let me show you what my friend Busy Ezrioha did with a first gen Boxster. Look at this
That is
motherfucker
a
right here.
beast.
So this thing I drove at Button Willow. So Busy Ezrioha, who's Busy Moto, you may have heard of, is a fucking nut job, and I love the guy. He's nuts. So that is a first gen Boxster with a Cayman roof on it.
Wow.
Okay, it's like all molded. It's a carbon fiber roof. The roof cost more than the car, and so it has a 500. It has a 480 at the wheels, twin turbo 2.7 with. It's got twin 52 millimeters on it, and then it has a push to pass on the steering wheel.
Wow, like F1 style?
Yeah, for 80 horsepower. So for a high
What?
boost, short burst, right? And then it's kind of tough to see in this picture, but you sit in the middle. It's
Wow,
single seat,
like
and you
McLaren
sit,
F1 style.
Yeah, you sit in the middle.
Wow.
It
And
weighs-
it's
it
a
weighs-
beautiful, like candy apple red.
It's cool, yeah.
For the listeners.
Yeah,
That is,
and
it's
it's
gorgeous.
carbon fiber, carbon revolution wheels.
Wow.
The fitment of the front wheel with the over fender is a little strange, and I think I know why he did it. I think it's because those wheels are only fitted for 911s, not Boxsters, and so the front to rear stagger, I think, is incorrect.
Does it still have the same lights, the front headlight thing? Or it's
It
kinda-
actually, you can't see in the photo, but it's actually a race car and has no headlights.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
Busy,
really cool looking.
Busy's an interesting guy. He was a drag racer, right? So he can like build a fucking motor. Oh, that's me.
Oh, look at you. That's a really good looking car, though.
Yeah, it's really neat looking, and he didn't really know how to set up a chassis, so he was like, "Let me try and see what this handling thing is about." So he attempted to build a car with perfect balance and sufficient horsepower, and he actually has interest from the POC to build a spec series out of these fucking things. How cool would a center seat, like they wanted something to race that was like more interesting than a spec Boxster but not as expensive as like a cup car, and they wanted something in between,
Right.
and so these things would be like, I don't know, like 150 grand
All in. Which is,
all in,
Which is way
instead of
cheaper
like,
than
300
right.
or whatever
Right.
for a cup car. Not cheap, but like sufficiently. It's fucking fast. It's
Racing's
not,
not cheap.
Yeah, it's a fast car. It's not a slow car. It's got huge horsepower. So Yeah, and Busy's a crazy person.
Tim just posted a picture of that same car.
Oh, there it is without the roof.
Parked in front of the Porsche Experience Center with the Porsche logo in front. I think I have that exact same photo on my Instagram, thinking I was so clever and hope that's okay, you guys.
Oh no!
Meanwhile,
learn that
probably
everyone
happens
has that
all
Instagram
the time. Yeah, that exact picture happens all
That
the
shit,
time.
it's like going to a foreign place and seeing these stores that have hundreds and hundreds of these little tchotchkes, and you go, these are all the same. What's special? And you take one and bring it home, and yours becomes special
Right.
on your wall.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You remove it from that fucking market with 10,000 of them, and it's like when it's by itself, it's like
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you.
That's why That's why I wouldn't go to a DeLorean show when I had my DeLorean. I didn't want to reverse that experience.
By the way, what's the mechanism for the 80 horsepower? Is it like a turbo boost or something?
Yeah, it's just like fucking more
Nitrous?
Yeah, it's just like mega kill overboost mode.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I love these.
I see. The funny thing about the push to pass is, if it was me, like I'm like more pragmatic. I would just build the engine for the higher power, and that would be that.
And there's that. But then you probably blow it up.
Busy knows how to fucking throw some pizzazz on some shit. You know what I mean? He's not just like, he's a good fabricator, and he's very interesting and creative with his builds, but he knows how to throw some What are you looking at?
Those watches.
Those watches. I did a giveaway today with those watches. That was the one. That's the watches that caused the 4,000 comments on my Instagram.
Wow.
I gave those 2 watches away. First, I had a contest. I went to go pick up this rental car this morning because, long story. Thaddeus, my cameraman who lives in Dubai, his mom is doing a road trip. I promised her my 1,000,000-mile Lexus, but then I had to give the Lexus to these travel bloggers who wanted to do like 15,000 miles in the fucking thing. So I promised I would rent her a car. Hertz fucked me over all day. All day, Hertz fucked me around. They changed the car, they changed the price, all day. And this is the pile of shit. I said, guess the car. And not a single person in like 1,000 comments or 1,100 comments guessed a Jeep Compass. Nobody.
And that's what they had to guess.
They
They got to watch.
I said, I'm going to get a rental car right now. If you guess what kind of car it is, and I said the color also. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that I put color because no one said Jeep Compass, period.
Isn't it crazy? Think about this for a second.
The waves of people's thoughts when you do these contests, people think in patterns.
I don't know how companies can exist anymore with bad customer service, because you never know. You're talking to some $15 an hour dude at the desk at Hertz.
Yeah.
If he's lucky.
And now you're complaining to 875,000 people about that experience. And it's like, if I'm at Hertz, I better be DMing you as quickly as
maybe
possible.
Somebody
you know
will
what I mean?
later. Yeah, and ultimately I got a car, but it was like, it doesn't. I'm not going to do the bitch about Hertz show. I don't care.
Have you ever done the "Don't you know who I think I am"? Have you done that yet?
No.
I have.
I've never used the word.
Significant amount of followers.
I've never used the words. Occasionally, not even occasionally. Maybe once I might have said something just like, I have.
You realize I'm an influencer.
750,000 followers on YouTube, and I will spend my time complaining about this.
Right.
Which
I feel like you've
it's not
earned
quite
every
the
one of
same.
those people.
That's fine. It's not quite the same as just saying you know who I am, because I'm not fucking anybody.
And you're also not doing it for like VIP access. You're just going, hey, if you mess with me, you have no
just
idea.
treat me like someone who's paid for the thing that you offer.
Right.
That's all I ever
Right.
fucking want. You sell a thing, I've paid for you to do that thing.
Right.
Just do that and we're good. That's it.
Dana, her flight was out of San Diego on Sunday. And I'm like, we're going to be, and she connects in LA. I'm like, we just called Delta.
Oh no, you can't get on the connecting
Oh.
flight.
Don't even
You better
ask.
take
It
that
was
whole flight, my friend.
$235. I go, she's already going to be in LA. And I ended up.
That's actually cheap. You should. I hope you took that.
No.
No, it gets better.
I ascended it. I said, I want to talk to a person that's not you. And I got.
I do use that one a
And
lot.
I got.
Who's
I
your
got
boss?
Michael. I got Michael from Delta. And I said, Michael, here's the deal. And I said, first of all, you have the best name ever. I just spread the butter a little bit.
Very sweet.
Start with the honey.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
And then I said, here's the deal. I know the protocol is she's got to be on the first leg of the flight, but we are going to be 5 minutes away from LAX. So I could either drive 3.5 hours back to San Diego and then she flies 35 minutes back to LA, or we just jump her on that second flight. And he goes, all right, you know what? Typically it's $235. Just give me the $35 and we'll waive the $200. And I said, sounds
That sounds great. That's reasonable.
Done.
For you to not take a flight.
And we got the
Right,
huge,
that you've already paid for.
the huge suitcase
do you
in the back of the
But do you
car.
trust Michael with the honey and this? And what happens if you show them and they go, Is this confirmed?
Oh no,
the
it's done.
Delta app
It's
says
paid,
you're, Delta
it's paid
app
and
says
done.
you're good.
That's right.
All right.
It's paid and done. But
Fingers crossed,
who knows?
Delta.
That's
Good
right.
luck.
Good job.
Good luck,
Well, I'm just saying
Delta.
that that's props. That's a customer service props to
That's
Delta.
a good one.
And
That
that's
is a good
one that is one of the most practical, like, hey guys, we're already going to be there.
Yeah.
What if I broke down? You just say, no, you can't go home.
I think at one point you said, just on a person-to-person level, you understand the logic behind this, right? Like,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even on a
First lady.
customer service
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
The first person,
Just
it
like
was
you
just this.
understand.
And here's exactly.
for you to admit that this is fucked
Right.
up.
This is exactly verbatim how it went. So I said, and I explained the whole thing. I said, you understand that we're going to be there, and then we're going to drive back to San Diego, and then come back. You understand that as a person, that's totally crazy, right? And here was the response. And I was like, okay.
This is not in the
That
book.
was-
I don't know what
that was
the
it.
book doesn't tell me. what
That
this
means
is.
That's
yes.
exactly right. There was like, yeah, exactly.
My name is Peter.
I'm supposed to say this, and that's not in the script.
Yeah, yeah. There
so I
was
said,
no
let's-
yes, no tree.
I would-
There's no branch.
like to talk
There's
to-
no branch for yes, no. You know how fucked up
Logic.
this is, right?
Logic.
And then I said, if there's a,
Hear her brain
a
crying.
supervisor named Michael, I'd like to talk to him.
Yeah.
And it worked out great.
I had to pick up a car like 18 hours after I had reserved it. And I called and they said, no problem. You prepaid for your reservation. We'll hold it for 24 hours. Great. And I went over there and they gave the car away. The car wasn't there. And they were like, maybe if you call the reservation line, because this was not at LA. I did it at the Hilton because you don't have to pay airport tax at the Hilton.
Oh.
So the Hilton gave my car away. I go, call the LA place. Okay. Call them and they go, no problem. It'll be this much, where this much was 3x what it originally was. I go, no. And it went back and forth like that till eventually I ended up with the price I was supposed to have, but but I got the RAV, I'm doing air quotes, people, RAV4 or similar. It ended up with a khaki Jeep Compass.
And they
with
did you a favor.
With 40,002 miles. 40,000 miles on a rental car might as well be 400,000 miles.
That's been flogged.
And it was for Thad's mom to go. She's going on like a 12 national park tour with her friend. She's putting she's probably gonna put like 5,000 miles in this fucking thing. And I didn't say anything about it. I was like, Bernie, come on down. I brought her into the garage. I was like, what do you think? And she was like, oh, it's perfect. And I was like, yeah. The whole
Everybody's a winner.
Whole morning became worth it. So Bernie, I hope you have a great road trip. Anyway, so fucking Michael, other than hosting the show, who is Michael? He gave me the primer of things to talk about. So can I just?
You want to go down the list?
I mean, yeah, because the first three are really, really interesting. Bought my '69 911T in 2005 for $5,000, which is that the same? That's the same car we're talking about here, right? So that gray car, that looks like a $100,000 car now, not like a $5,000 car. So nicely done.
I turned down 210 in Monterey
Fuck.
last year.
I would have taken the money.
No.
210. You should have taken the money.
250 I would have taken.
You should have taken.
It would take one. It would have taken. It'll take 175 to build
That's
it the
probably
way it
true.
is.
That's probably
Right
Is
now.
it? Would it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, think about
What motor's in it? I didn't even ask.
95 993.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, that's neat.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
20K in motor.
Yeah. At least
Without the
right?
conversion.
It's a completely stock engine.
$5,000. Yeah.
I
on
guess
purpose.
in that car, that's probably a lot.
300.
Fucking
That's
fast.
RSR.
Yeah, it's
It had-
fast.
Yeah, the RSR had. It's 2160. The weight.
Is the weight?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's light.
300 horsepower.
That's light. and
good.
fast, probably. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Plenty.
I'll buy that. I know how much. And now that I'm a customer, I know how much this shit costs. My bill at BBI is like fucking heart attack inducing, and
It's
all
crazy.
I'm doing is like nothing.
It's crazy.
Like, basic shit. It's crazy.
Like mine was a total rust bucket when I
Yeah.
got it. And I learned to weld. I bought a Harbor Freight welder, and I literally, and this is before YouTube. You just go through, and there's somewhere on my Instagram.
Is that your garage in that picture?
No, it's my buddy. It's my buddy Mark Ciliani's. It's called
Oh.
the Fast Newport Speed Cave, and he has a lot of. It actually looks way better
That's
than that
fucking
now.
cool.
He's got
Is
a
that a business
killer
or his
garage.
crib?
No, it's just his hangout.
Really? It's his
Yeah.
personal spot?
Yeah, it's his little.
Dope.
It's his
I love
little
rich
man
people.
cave.
Rich
Actually,
people
if-
are the fucking best.
If you go somewhere at the beginning of like top of my wrench, he bought a new shell with a new motor. And right now, if you go down a little bit, I don't know, a few rows right there, right in the middle, that's currently his coffee table, which is the motor
Oh.
that's about to go.
It's like
in
a work.
his-
Usually, like working motors don't become coffee tables. That's that's not even that good of a coffee table because it's got like a gearbox on it. It's actually really
It's a
big.
sick motor.
Do you just sit on the gearbox as a stool?
It will. No, there's a couch so you can't see. But this is this gorgeous twin plug. I want to say it's like a 2.8, and it's going in this super hot rod that he's doing the
$60,000 coffee
oh, yeah.
table. That's great.
It's a sick. So anyway, that's his current setup in that place. Anyway,
Wow, it's lovely.
but it was a total rust bucket.
Yeah,
And I just went to
have high
Restoration,
standards. We need an
uh,
engine block coffee table for the spot, Tim. The
100%.
question is,
Show.
what kind of engine block makes for the best coffee table? I would
next
think
trivia.
like a flat 12. It's flat.
Depends on how big the table is too.
You know, you want a big table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or one of those with the direct headers that stick up, like that curve up, like
the
drag
head-
race style,
Oh,
like
yeah,
Top
yeah,
Fuel
yeah,
drag race
yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Then you just drop that glass on top
Then you
of
just
those.
want to do like a flathead V8 or
Yeah,
something out of
yeah.
like the 30s, right?
be
Yeah, like
sick.
I'd love like a blown offy like coffee table. That would be cool. That's
Yes.
bitching. Okay, so you bought this car for $5,000.
$5,000.
Now it's $200.
Worth a
Cool.
lot, whatever.
A
Yep.
lot. But okay, your parents passed away while you were building it, so you mixed your ashes into the paint.
Into the primer, yeah. The thick
It's
build.
weird.
I don't know.
Was that? I mean, I guess it's not. That's intense.
I gotta say that when you do,
Weird is the wrong word. It's intense.
it's a little intense.
It's a little
maybe.
intense.
But there's a real. I think one of the things I love about being like a DIY person, it's almost meditative in some ways.
Were you mixing your own paint anyway?
It was the primer. I didn't paint it.
Okay.
I let someone who knew what they were doing paint the car.
How did that person feel about working with ash?
Well, that was done. It was in the high build primer. So it was,
Okay,
at that point,
all right.
you know, I
Well,
just
it's
took like
I'm sorry, I'm focused on this factoid, but that's
it's an interesting one. I know.
That's
but
other
here's
than
the deal.
that, it's gray.
So I'm in the middle of this. I think about it like this. So I was in the middle of this project, which was crazy. In fact, when it was done, and you know, that's air quotes as well. I remember going, "What do I do now?" Because it was 4 years of work on this thing before I finally got to see it and use it. And while I was building it, they passed away, and I was like, I kind of like it was such an important part of me, almost healing and being part of this. It was almost a catharsis for me to go to the garage and work on the car and kind of work on something and get my mind off it. So I thought it would be kind of a cool way to honor them. So I put a little bit in there, which is partially the reason. The guy in Monterey last year, he goes, "How much?" And I go, "Oh, it would have to be absurd."
Yeah.
And he goes, $210. I go, "Absurd for me, not you."
Yeah.
You know.
That's a really dick thing to say to somebody, but okay. It's kind
Well,
of nice though.
is it?
I was not. Well, no. Well, maybe
The number
not.
has to start getting for me to consider it. I have to go, wow, that's like the chic of something.
Yeah, okay.
Offer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure. I
Okay.
guess I don't know how you're living.
I guess.
Sounds like a lot. That sounded like a lot to me.
Well, I'll talk to you when you finish your car build, and then you see how much.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
What?
Mine
how much a lot is.
The good news is for mine is it's a known quantity at this point.
Says you hope.
I think so. I'm
Yeah.
past where there would be unknowns.
Oh, okay. All right.
We didn't find any rust. There wasn't any like anything in the engine that was like more broken than we really expected. There was only one part I had to replace that I really didn't expect replacing, and it was some kind of housing, and it was $1,000. So that if that's the worst bite,
All right.
No, that's shitty. That's
Yeah.
super shitty. But if that's like the worst bite I've got, I think we're all right.
Yeah, that's the point, though, right? Is that
Yeah, I guess- I
they
mean,
do
I
tend to
guess-
run away from you a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was mine was like mine was like, oh, this car looks great. I just have to do this and it's fixed. And all of a sudden, you lift a panel, it's just no rockers. There's
Yeah.
just nothing there, and I'm like, ugh.
I was there with the Mustang. The Mustang
yeah.
was supposed to be an affordable project car, and it ended up being the opposite of that. But it's done now. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Did the ash affect the color of the car?
No, it was
Okay.
primer. I put it in the
I'm
high-build
just
primer.
saying, like.
I'm glad
Nah.
you asked that because I always wondered. Like,
Well,
can I
that's
tell?
the
No.
thing. That's the other than that, it's gray.
No.
It's a beautiful gray. But I just want to know if it's gray because of the ash. Because here's why: I've heard of people getting tattoo ink out of ash, which I looked into because my
Wow,
cat,
really?
my cat passed
course.
away a couple weeks ago, and it's. Nothing compared to obviously your parents, so it wasn't even worth bringing up in the beginning. But since the ink thing, I looked into it.
Wow.
And you can get diamonds made out of ash as well, if you really.
That's fun.
My fiance requests diamonds. She requested diamonds.
From the cat?
No, from
Oh.
her. If she dies
Okay.
before me,
Oh.
she wants some diamonds. She wants to
I
become
thought you
a
wanted
diamond.
cat diamonds. I was
If
like,
I
that's-
die before her, I'm gonna be a diamond that she gets to wear.
That's kind of cool.
That's our deal.
All right.
Yeah, but it's making diamonds out of ash is very expensive for a cat. For a human, you might want to spring for it, but for a cat, it's a lot.
This is Mr. Niggles, and
Yeah.
he's now a diamond.
The other more interesting factoid, provided by you, I might add, is that you used a vibrating dildo to paint your wheels.
It's true.
What is the vibrating dildo technique about? That could be educational.
It is. So this is all about surface tension, is what it is.
Is there
Yeah,
something
oh.
I can Google for this?
I wouldn't.
Is safe search turned on?
I wouldn't. So my wheels are
Maybe an imagination segment.
Yeah.
on my car. My wheels are 9s and 11s by 15, and in the typical RSR.
Do I know where you're going? Is it significant that they're different depth, different stagger?
No, but that's funny. I'm just trying to.
I was just wondering. Did
I'm
you
trying
need
to
to
paint.
buy?
I'm trying to.
I'm asking the hard hitting questions.
I'm
here.
trying to paint a picture for the listener. So they're 9s, 11s by 15s, and the typical RSR wheel, if you're not a Porsche fan, has the pedals of the wheel. They're the Fuchs wheels. You can look them up, and the inner part of the Fuchs is painted, and so you've got this sort of raw outer part, which is the pedals, and then the inner part is painted. Now you have an option there, and most people mask off that inner part, and you have to mask the entire wheel and then paint it.
Right.
The way Porsche did it was they dipped the wheel.
Okay.
And they dipped it.
Mask and dip?
No mask. They just dipped the wheel the
Okay.
proper depth, and the paint filled up the wheel until it made a perfect line on the
Oh.
inside.
Oh, that's actually, yeah, that seems efficient if
Right.
you're doing a lot of them, yeah.
The problem is surface tension of the paint. You know, think of it like if you're filling a glass of water, and sometimes you can fill the water a little above the
Right,
rim.
right. Yeah, of
that's because
course.
of the surface tension.
Yeah,
but
the
you break
meniscus.
that,
Yeah.
and it goes right. It
Yes.
spills over the edge. So I had surface tension in the paint while I was rising. So I had this basically a tin. I have the center of the wheel in the middle of the tin. I'm filling it with a.
Oh, here's
with
what.
a-
Okay, you actually recreated the way the Porsche did
That's
it
right.
by dipping it. All right, see,
That's right.
All right, that I missed that part. Okay,
I was
so you
getting there.
recreated that way.
I'm slow on the uptake. So
No,
anyway,
no, you
so
skipped ahead to it. Okay, yeah, you
I
did
have
the
a
dip.
tin. I put
Yeah.
the center of the wheel in, and I filled it with a like an old school ketchup squirt, thing you'd see at a diner, with paint. And I just kept filling it until it was the right thing. But the surface tension kept it so like one side was a little higher than the other. So I needed to break the surface tension, and the way to do that is to vibrate the paint. And
yeah.
I was thinking, what do I have in my house that vibrates? I'm like, oh,
That's awesome.
I have something on my girlfriend's bedside table
That's
that
so
would work
funny.
great. So I duct taped a vibrator to the tin, and when I needed to, I just I just fired it up, filled it with paint. It was perfect.
That's awesome.
Took the vibrator off, pulled the wheel out. It was like I'd been doing it for a living.
and then you owe your girlfriend. You can't use that
No,
afterwards.
it's on the outside. And
sorry?
I put it on the outside. So I'm
of
just
the
vibrating
tin.
the whole tin.
Oh, the dry vibrator
That's right.
method.
That's right.
That's
the
true.
DVM. It
The
was the
true
DVM.
genius is doing it without it touching the paint.
That's right.
That's the true
And
genius.
I
of
did
it.
saran wrap it lest it be in a different.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
That's fucking awesome.
And then
That's
it's
a really
weird.
smart
Like
idea.
the next time she used it, she's like, "Why do I love Porsches so much?" I was like, "I don't know. I didn't tell her."
I'm glad I asked you about the vibrator because
Yeah, now you know. Surface tension.
Well, but that went farther than I
was
thought.
a David Letterman.
Now it
He just
now
flung it
it
across
makes,
the room.
But now I'm gonna be able to use that for something else.
For something. When you need to dip something in
Cooking,
paint.
yeah,
you know where I
cooking,
got the idea was they for ski jumping.
the bubbling water.
They bubble the water to break the surface tension so they don't whack themselves.
That's a really fucking good idea.
And that's where my inspiration came from. Yeah, there you
I
have
like
it.
that. They also use bubblers on boats that are stored in cold water to keep them from freezing.
That's right.
Yeah, keep shit moving.
Although I do not have a DIY on the Wrench YouTube channel yet for that. But maybe
You
I
should.
should. I should.
You want to know a Porsche DIY I just saw at the racetrack, which was real fucking cool? Was this guy put infrared sensors in his wheel wells that would scan the surface of the tire, temperature, and transmit that to an LED strip that would change color.
No shit.
Yeah, and it would indicate, and it
Like
would
a
show,
DIY?
Oh,
That you
yeah.
could- like on Amazon you could get this stuff?
I didn't ask him to explain in detail how he made it, but it didn't
that would
seem
be
like
any,
it was that.
That'd be any temperature gun. It's the
Yeah.
same mechanism.
I think they make
Wow.
a sensor for this.
That's cool.
Yeah. It didn't. He didn't build the parts. He built it out of shit. Yeah.
Wow. When I went to Rennsport a couple years ago, I remember thinking this is such a Porsche solution because they had the 919 and then they had the new RSR had just come out. And they just had these on the side of the brake calipers, leave it to the Germans, just had a sticker with the thermometer on it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was it. They had two stickers. And
Genius.
I was like,
it just changes.
it just
It's got a
changes.
level on
And
it.
I
Yeah.
go, how much more simple could you get than
That's
that?
so
Just
great.
stick a sticker on the brake caliper.
How much are those stickers? You think?
I don't know. They're probably out there
They're probably
somewhere.
$1,000.
Yeah, Porsche makes them or something.
They're like,
Yeah.
they last forever, but they're $1,000.
Look how cute. So this is like 2 weeks old, my Wrench YouTube channel. I have
263 subscribers. Go subscribe to Wrench.
Look at-
RENNCH on
And
YouTube.
My
Find it. Go subscribe.
my first tutorials are me installing the air conditioning.
Oh, cool.
Because I think everyone's going to want that in their car at some point.
I didn't really. It's so funny. I associate you so much more with your podcast than actually wrenching. I forgot you spend like most of your time wrenching. Oh, look, we have a lot of super chat questions.
Oh.
Let's get through a couple of these real quick.
Let's do it.
Do you like BMWs?
Love them. I'm about to get a 535i E60.
Oh, nice. Mateo wants to know thoughts on a BMW 328 wagon. It picks up like 75 horsepower with a tune. I assume you mean the new turbo 4-cylinder one. I liked the 328 when I drove it, actually. I mean, it's not like fast, but I thought it was pretty cool.
It's expensive as balls, isn't it?
It's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
That's the problem with it. Is the wagons even are real? Like they're probably like in the 50s. That's a lot of money.
I love BMW wagons though.
Yeah, but
I just think they look cool, and I'm a drummer, and so it's cool to load this stuff. And I also have a
Totally.
BMX bike. I like to throw stuff in the back, but I can't find a really nice like whatever the 335i version of the wagon is.
Yeah.
it's really hard to find the touring.
I don't see a lot of them.
No, I remember you did a one take with one of them. I remember watching that.
I
one.
did. I think if you want a 328i wagon for the same amount of money, the fastest Volvo wagon is better.
Yeah,
Because you know what I mean. I think it is.
different panache.
It is, but like I have a V60. It's Hannah's car, a V60 R design. It's pretty cool. It's not, but dynamically, it's a little bit behind the BMW. But like in the cool factor, it's like way cooler.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
more
on
unique.
like a meta cool.
We never see other ones like
Right.
it. You know what I mean? And it's like a fine automobile.
Letterman had that one that
Letterman's the V8
that's
ones.
ridiculous.
Yeah, he would put Ford 302s with superchargers in them.
Yeah.
Him and Paul Newman were like all about that shit.
Well, that's right. And so didn't the one that they drove Seinfeld on Comedians in Cars? Wasn't that Newman's that
I
became
think
Letterman's?
so.
That
I believe it
Yeah.
was, but Letterman would. Was it? Wait, no. Newman would give them to people.
Yeah, he
that
would
was
do
his
them and then
shtick.
give them.
Yeah, fucking that's cool, man.
yeah, that's where
Of
you
all
want to
the
get.
things to give,
That's where you wanna
supercharged
get.
V8 swapped Volvos is about as cool a present as you could give somebody.
It's as cool of a present you could get to a car guy.
Yeah,
You know,
like here's a fucking sleeper.
just have that, and you go, what? And
Yeah.
it's the coolest thing in the world, and only other car guys even know.
Yeah,
That would be a cool gift.
have you watched any of Letterman's new show?
Yeah, all of them.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
I don't like his fucking "I'm a stupid old man" shtick. I don't believe
He's always
it.
had that.
I know, but I think it's tired. I don't
always
get
had
his.
that.
Yeah, I'm fucking dumb. I don't know anything. I'm just worth $900 million.
He's
What do
always
I know?
done that. He's always been very self-effacing.
I know, but it's worse when he's talking to young people.
It's been interesting
that's
though.
Dak
Like
Shepard's car.
You know,
Dak
Seinfeld is
Shepard's
the
got
last
a wagon
one.
sleeper.
Seinfeld is the last episode.
So I'll watch. I haven't seen that
The
yet.
Little Sleeper.
I will watch that one.
I will say that Jerry Seinfeld, and just in the last probably a year and a half, has really become one of my top 3 like entrepreneurial icons.
Because of the web show?
No, because when I go and you can Google or just YouTube his interviews where he's been the interviewee, and like he's
where people have interviewed him.
Yeah. And he's got so much cool, profound stuff to say. Mm-hmm. And he's also so, like, I'm from the East Coast, so he's so direct and really judgy in the way comedy guys are judgy.
Yeah.
In a you know what I mean?
Yes.
But in a great, like, he's a great conversationalist. And last year at the Lit Show, we have the thing called the LA Literature Show, which is all this vintage Porsche, like, catalogs and gear and trinkets and posters and things like that, and they have it in a hotel. And it's really, you walk around and there's always a bunch of celebrity folks that are into that stuff. And so Jerry's there every year with Spike Feresten and that crew, and he's there in his hat, and I'm like, I'm a little schoolgirl because I'm like, holy shit, that's Jerry
It's
Seinfeld
very
right
hard
there.
to not fanboy around Jerry.
Yeah, and so of course I had all my podcast gear in my backpack, and I was like, I'm gonna fire it up. I'm gonna have both mics ready, and if he says yes, I'm gonna get 34 seconds of an interview and be psyched about it, right? And so
it's a really good attitude to take, by the way.
Well, you know,
it is. It's like that's a go-getter attitude.
He goes and I pounce and I go, Jerry, whatever nonsense came out of my mouth, but I said, I have to say that I said I would love if you'd take a second. If I could ask you a couple questions for my show. If not, no big deal. But I do want to say that you are quietly one of the best interviewers and conversationalists I've ever seen. I said, you bring out amazing conversation with your guests. And he says, he stopped and he looked at me and he said, that is a great compliment. No, I will not do your show.
Yeah.
I said, all right.
He's fucking gangster like that.
He's gangster like that.
He's like Paulie in Goodfellas. He can move slow because he don't have to move for anybody.
Right.
You know, I've gotten to have like breakfast with him and Spike like 3 or 4 times, like just enough where he barely knows my name. And he's always been hilarious and funny. But someone once, literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen anyone do around a celebrity, someone stuck an iPad in his face that had like their daughter on like FaceTime.
On FaceTime?
Yeah, it was like, my daughter's doing her first comedy set. Do you have any advice? And the woman, some woman comes over and goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Seinfeld, is my husband bothering you? And he goes, yes. And I was like, wow. I just saw that. It was,
I have some advice.
wow.
Don't fuck with someone having breakfast.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I was like, God, to be that confident is gotta be the greatest fucking thing in the world.
He's just very, very carefree at this point.
Yeah.
What does he have? What is he worrying
Don't
about?
have to move for anybody.
No, he doesn't have to worry about much.
let me just buy this car here and then print some money on the way to selling it
But
there.
I'll tell you though, he's really something when it comes to. He's got a great fast mind on him, and I really
the
dig
cars?
it. Just on all of it.
Oh,
on
yeah.
the whole. He said something for me. I grew up a BMX kid, so I was like doing freestyle tricks the whole time, and so I spent time in skate parks and things like that. And that world really prepared me for entrepreneurship because it's fall and crash and crash and crash and crash and crash, and then finally you nail it. And he was talking, I think, Chris Rock, and he was like, I walked by this skate park the other day, and I watched this kid, and he just kept falling and falling and falling and trying and trying.
Before.
And he said,
yeah.
that kid's going to be okay. And I was like, yes, dude, you totally get.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That is cool. He does have a lot of those like just that's his thing, right? Day observations.
What do you do when you're sitting there and you got Spike, who seems like a nice guy? I've never met him. We've talked on Instagram.
Oh, he's great.
And then you got Seinfeld. What does Matt Farah do as a human?
Try not to be a complete fucking ass of myself.
Yeah. What do you have to consciously kind of go just like?
No, you know what's crazy is when someone like that defers to me for something. Hey, Matt, what do you think about this? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I
think? Fuck, do you care what I think? Why do you care what I think about anything at all? But it's a nice compliment. It's fun. It's
He
cool.
also has an insane knowledge base of vintage Porsche.
Of Porsches?
I mean,
my God.
Way deeper than I realized.
Yeah. And just interesting ones seem to be appearing every day. Between the three of them, between him and Spike and Zuckerman, it's like, oh my God, it's just it's ridiculous. it's not enough to have the super super special one. You've got the super super special one that only has this one,
Right.
the one thing.
Right.
And in the case of Jerry, it's like
they call
best
him
of the best. Yeah.
They call him 10 minutes after they came up with the idea
Same
of
thing
making the car.
with Jay. You know,
Right.
it's like he doesn't have to search. Things just appear.
Yeah.
Jay doesn't buy cars. Cars appear in his garage.
Yeah,
It's so
right.
crazy.
I love that show, by the way. I love
It's
you. You've
so
done a great
crazy.
job on it too.
What, on Leno's?
No, on Spikes. On
Oh, on
Spikes Radio.
Spike's show. Yeah,
You've
no,
done
I
a great
love
job on
Spike.
it. It's
I
great.
love that show.
Sometimes I really want it to be, because the tagline is the Cars and Coffee, and I said I haven't seen any of these people at Cars and Coffee. I want a guy that works on his own car a little bit every once in a while.
I will pass that note along.
Yeah,
I
just
think
like-
that's fair. It's been more Hollywood than.
It's been more Hollywood.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, great, by the way. Don't get me
Some
wrong.
of those interviews have been really fun, though. I think I got to interview Dick Van Dyke with him.
I
Van
heard
Dyke
that one, and
is
I thought that was
fucking
legend.
91 years old, and we got him to review the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car.
I remember that.
He's like, it drove like a fucking hunk of shit. It was really fun. And he said his grandmother shook Abraham Lincoln's hand.
What?
which blew my fucking
crazy.
mind. There's two things Dick Van Dyke said to me that completely blew my mind. One was that his grandma shook Abraham Lincoln's hand, and the other was that he said they were working on a movie and something was going wrong, and I had to call up Disney and deal with it, and he meant Walt Disney.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was like, he was homies with Walt Disney.
I was twice now I've gotten a chance to have breakfast with Cal Fussman and Larry King in Beverly Hills, which is amazing because I love the art of the interview. It's like a thing that I really enjoy. And these two guys have interviewed literally probably 60,000 people between them. I think Larry's done 40 of that. And
You think Larry King's done 40,000?
yeah, no, he has. He said it at
Jesus, if you do the math, that's crazy.
when he left that day, he had 4. He goes, yeah, I've got a pop star, a world leader, a blah blah blah, and blah. Like that day, he was doing 4.
God,
And
imagine
he's like,
processing that.
yeah, it's crazy. We meet at this place. He's got his bowl of Cheerios that he brings to this bagel place, and they make his cereal for him.
Yes,
and he
Seinfeld
sits there
does
in
that
the
too.
he sits there in the corner, and then Cal comes in. They always bring cool people. And I don't remember who it was, but maybe let's say it was like Gina Lola Brigida or some like famous old Hollywood starlet, right? And I'm at this table with probably 4 70-year-old dudes, and my buddy Scotty Page from Pink Floyd was the sax player of Pink Floyd. And they're all telling stories, and I'm just like, my mom would freak if she knew. And the guy was telling this story about, Gina Lola Brigida blah, or whatever it was. And I go, oh, he's not telling that because he was like around that era. He was telling it because he dated her for 7 years. Like that's what it was. It was one of those things. And they just have all of these amazing like celebrity, like iconic celebrity
and it gets
stories.
dropped very casually.
Well, it's because they don't know.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all they've known
crazy.
for 55
It's crazy.
years or something. It's been nutty. Anyway.
It's a very bizarre world to hang out in. The key is just I never ask anything of those people. That's all. Just don't ever ask anything, and then you stay in the club a little bit. That's all.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me get through one of these. Oh, I have a 79 Brandon. Is that Brandon? Brandon says, I have a 79 Fox Body Pace Car Mustang. Nice. I'm fixing up. Decide between going cheap, get it driving with a 302, or going Coyote big bucks. To me, the difference is, do you have a working engine now or not? If you have a working engine now, there's a lot of virtue in making that work. And a 302 can go a long way if it's in decent shape. If your engine's not working, or not in the car, or I don't know, there's something fucked up with it that's going to cost money to fix, now's a good time to get a different engine.
You do a rolling restoration. That's what I did with my 911 when I first got it.
Yeah. How did that go?
Didn't have an engine. I mean, it didn't have an engine. I put a 3-liter in it almost right away, and then I could drive it around, while I'm working on the bodywork and still kind of enjoying it. It looked terrible.
Yeah.
But it was functional.
Yeah. So that's definitely an option. If it doesn't need to be a car right now, you maybe go bigger. As someone who spent money on chassis and body and not so much on an engine, I know the virtues of not spending money on an engine. But
yeah, and I guess to my end, how much skill or like inclination do you have to do your own work? If you don't mind getting your hands dirty, right now in 2018, you can do anything you want to a car because of YouTube.
Yeah,
everybody has something, like between Mighty Car Mods, who I love those guys.
They have an open invite anytime they're in LA to come hang out. Fully open invite.
And my buddy Jeff, who does Home Built by Jeff. I don't know if you've seen his RSR
I haven't.
creation. It's really cool.
No, I haven't. Is he awesome? Is he local?
He's in Sydney.
Oh,
Yeah, and
cool.
so I was there at a speaking gig last year in November, and I got to go down to his shop. He did a beautiful orange RSR. Now he's doing a 240Z.
Cool.
He's got a Volkswagen Beetle. He just
Well, Jeff, if you're listening, open invite to you as well.
right on. He's a great dude. He'll actually be here. He's doing his motor right down the road. He's got his motor. Actually, he'll be in town probably in the next couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'll connect you
email
guys.
me. That's I don't know. That's the vote. As someone who has a hopped up 302 in my car, it's quick but not fast. But that's just my thing. John K. I crashed the Lotus into an S2000 at Streets of Willow. WTF? I discussed this last week on the show. Crash is a stretch. I had at my first ever in 10 years car-to-car contact at a track day. So here's what happened. First off, the damage was incredibly minimal. The total sum damage consisted of a wheel on my car. Just a wheel, which is being refinished right now at my expense.
Like a curbed wheel, not a destroyed wheel.
No, I did the whole rest of the track day.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
No, paint. The paint came
Rubbin's
off
racing.
it. The paint came off it. And then about a Bible-sized tire rash on the other. I basically tapped the other guy's fender with my wheel. That's pretty much what happened. It
Did you
was
spin?
No. If we were racing, if it was a race, we wouldn't have even slowed down. But so basically what happened was 3 cars were merging onto a hot track. I was running a hot lap. Okay, it was open passing session. So no point buys required. Okay? But most people were giving point buys anyway, myself included. I approached the 3 cars, they were all driving slow. The 2 cars in back both gave me a point buy. The car in front, which was an S2000, did not give me a point buy, but he left the entry to a corner, the corner that we were approaching, wide open. He didn't take a tight line on the entry, and they were going slow. I was going faster, so I tried to squeeze by him. Now, to take blame where it's certainly due, I probably shouldn't have tried to make that pass. To spread blame where it's probably due, he should have been paying attention to his rear view mirror more while being on his out lap. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a scary couple of seconds when
Right.
you're first merging, onto the.
It was
hot
2
track.
corners after merging onto the hot track. It wasn't like in the blend line or anything like that. It wasn't like in the first corner. It was on turn 4. So like first off, I offered immediately to pay for his car, which I'm doing. So the guy driving the S2000 wasn't the guy who owned the S2000. It was a different guy. Okay. So I talked to them immediately. I worked it out.
What were you driving?
A Lotus Evora 400. And I offered to pay to fix his car, which I fully intend to do. He hasn't sent me an estimate, but he has my contact information, and I'm going to pay to fix his car.
Yeah.
If it was anyone else, if it was 2 random people at a track day, I don't think either person would have to pay for the other person's car. I think that's a racing incident.
Right.
And if I really wanted to be a dick, I would have argued that it was a racing incident, but I'm not a dick. I took my share of the responsibility by offering to pay for the dude's car.
It was his yield, though. Right?
I don't want
If you're merging on.
There's 2 arguments. The one argument is he was on his out lap, I was on a hot lap. He should have been more aware of his mirrors because he was running half pace. The other argument is I, quote, dive bombed the corner.
Were you outside to inside? Or were you inside?
So it's a series of large S corners. I passed the 2 back corners out on the outside of the first S, and I was going to pass this dude on the inside of the second one.
Got it.
If you want to look at Streets of Willow, there you go.
Oh, cool.
Here we go.
I haven't done that
Can
one.
you zoom in there,
We're just
Tim,
about
on
to
between
do
turns 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
So
Got it.
they merged at the bottom. I passed on the outside of turn 3 and then went to pass the S2000 on the inside of turn 4. And he came down.
We're just about to do this.
He came down, and we bumped. Like, honestly, if there was a race happening, we would have both just continued racing.
Sure.
At the very least, we would have pulled into the pits for 20 seconds to look at both of our cars, seeing that they were like, all right, and ended. Now, here's the bad news.
What app is this, by the way?
There is some bad news. In full transparency, it appears that his wheel got bent too, which I think ended his track day.
That's about.
Which is a bummer. And I didn't offer to pay for his track day. I didn't think that was warranted, I think. But I don't know for sure that, like, his tire was still holding air. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't.
It was just a little wonky.
I offered to buy him a new fucking wheel too. I took, benefit of the doubt. I offered to buy him a new wheel and fix his fender, which was not that bad. So I don't know. That's what happened at Streets of Willow. And you know what's fucked up? That happened the lap after, or 2 laps after I ran my fastest lap I've ever run there.
Wow.
I was on fire.
Wow, we're just about to do this.
I ran a fucking 25. I was fast.
That's awesome.
I ran a 25, and then I rubbed an S2000, and I think the guy's name was Joe or Jose. Hang on, I'll be nice. Hang on, I would like to. Where is it?
Give Joe a shout out.
Yeah, here. His name was Jose. And it was an S2000 CR. It was the club racer.
That's cool.
He was really nice. Like, literally, like.
So, you know what?
He was like, can we take a selfie? And I was like, yeah, tell everybody Matt Farah ran into you at Streets of Willow.
Oh, that's funny. All right,
we joked about it. Like, it's fine. He's cool. Everything's fine. It was a bummer. If that indeed ended his day, like, I really am sorry.
Sorry,
and
Jose.
I'm sorry, and I'll fix your car. But that's what happened.
We're doing.
And that's, by the way, that's like going in my fucking story. I'm not one of the guys who that's going in the story.
Yeah. We're doing Button Willow Springs, and Laguna Seca on the Targa.
Awesome.
3 days.
Tell me how loud's your car?
Not as loud as I was thinking it was going to be.
Yeah, it's all right because it's a stock.
Does it have like a real muffler in it?
Yeah.
I blew sound. I blew the limit in the Evora 400 at Laguna.
I think when I go to an autocross, I'm right up against the limit.
Well, I'll go gear high in turn 5. Upshift early in turn 5.
Okay.
That's because that's where the sound meter is. It's on the outside of 5.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That's the only reason.
Okay.
The rest of the course doesn't matter.
Well,
that's what
they're air quotes parade laps. So.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Well.
They're not watching the sound meter on parade.
Oh, no, yeah.
they're not.
No. From a sound standpoint, we're not worried about it.
Yeah.
But from a other standpoint, we have interesting parade laps.
What else do we have there?
Oh, I want to see the E46 M3 question.
Oh, E46.
I love that
E46 M3 hypothetical question. By the way, if you want to get in on the action on this show, if you're there live, super chat it up. Convertible jelly car with manual transmission or thick coupe with SMG.
What's a jelly car?
Well, they jiggle because they're convertibles.
Oh, jelly.
They're jelly. They jiggle. I just shook the camera doing that.
The car's jealous?
Well, in fairness, all convertibles that aren't the Rolls-Royce Dawn or the new 911 are jiggly.
Oh. Huh. And the new 911's not?
No. It's
wow.
amazing.
I don't know how they did that.
I don't either. It's magic.
It's like an internal
mid-engine convertibles tend to be okay because they have it's a whole fucking tub thing happening. But
I say coupe.
So,
I love that coupe.
Coupe SMG.
Well,
I'll tell you what, coupe SMG, and here's why. Because for a little bit of money down the road, you can make the coupe into a manual.
Right.
It's not that difficult. Whereas you ain't never making a convertible into anything else but a convertible.
Let's rank M3s.
All of them?
Yeah. Let's rank the top 3.
Top 3 M3s. Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think.
You want to start at 3 or start at 1?
3. I'm gonna go current. The most current, whatever that was last year.
Current M3.
Was that F80?
F80. 80, yeah. Current one.
I mean, I'm a current.
Current one is okay. We
second for me is the 2008, and then the number 1 is the E46 M3. I just love that E46 M3.
Okay, I disagree.
You can. That's my ranking.
I think the third best is the E46. The second best, is the E30.
I do like the E30 too.
And the best is the current sedan.
Okay. No, the 2008's not on your radar.
It could be, but only like
V8.
I know.
Gorgeous
I really like the engine.
sedan.
I really like the engine. I really like the V8 sedan. The one I like is not my favorite one though. I've driven like the Dynan Stroker engine one, the 4.6 Stroker, 525 horsepower, and once I drive that, I can't go back, and it's such a bummer because it's like a $25,000 engine. It's like a not for everybody engine.
Yeah.
But it was so good that, and also I don't like the seating position of the E92s. You sit up on them. I know
Right.
you can change that with
Collectability, though, I think the E46, like that.
Collectability,
if you're gonna
E46,
get-
E92, E30 are your three
If
collectors.
you're going to get a car and then you hope it might go up in value,
Yeah.
then you get a E46 coupe,
Yeah.
and get it with SMG and then convert it to manual
Convert
or
it to
whatever.
stick.
But
Yeah.
that's the car.
I think because the coupe gives you an option later. That's the key.
That's right.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Brandon wants to know, getting a K20 A2 swap in my Civic sedan.
Oh.
Tuned with full bolt-ons, upgraded sway bars, Coney shocks, and Ibrox springs. Okay.
Speaking of Mighty Car Mods.
Would this be something Zach would be interested in? Oh, you should have waited to ask until Zach was here. I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would. Zach loves fast Hondas. I love fast Hondas. Fast Hondas are very, very fun.
They are.
They're
I won a
very fun.
championship in a
Did you?
89 Civic Si.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Wasn't that like number
It
6?
was on my list. That was my first
It
race
was
car.
number 6.
That was my first race car.
Dude,
I had no idea.
In an SI?
Yeah, a great car. 108 horsepower, I think, but you bolt on a couple suspension mods,
Yeah.
and it is a go-kart. It
No
was
rear
so
sway
fun.
bar, right? Isn't that the move? They disconnect the
Yeah,
rear sway bar?
No front sway bar.
No front sway bar?
Yeah, because you want it to oversteer like
Oh, yeah.
like as much as you possibly can.
No front sway bar.
Yeah.
Water?
Yeah, I'll take one more. Either that or we would use the HF sway bar, which is like a pencil.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a tiny little sway bar, and then put like a 4-inch sway bar in the rear. Crank up. Well, I had Coney adjustables that I could not have maxed out more, so it was just like I had bricks in the back and then grip in the front.
Every
And that was great.
yeah, you want to put like
Lift and steer, lift and
PVC
steer, lift and
wheels in
steer.
the back,
That's right.
basically.
Lift and steer, lift
slicks
and steer.
Slicks and skinnies.
That's right. It was so much fun.
Every track day I go to has one greasy dude in a fucking Honda that's going way faster than it has any business going. Right?
At the peak of that, I went to Second Creek Raceway in Colorado, which doesn't exist anymore. But I was behind a Boxster.
Yeah.
And he'd pull away in the straightaways, and I would just suck right up to him on the corners.
Yeah.
And I was right on his ass. And I remember being in the pits later, and him walking by and complaining, "This fucking Honda
Yeah.
was just right up my ass the whole time."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What kind of motors do they have?" And I'm like, "I have 108 horsepower, bro."
Double wishbone
Yeah.
FTW.
Yeah, that's
Dude, look up on my Instagram, Tim. Look up James Houghton in the search bar. He is this dude I know from the Grid Life Festival, which you'd probably fucking love, bro.
I
Grid
don't know what
Life,
that is. What is that?
HOUGH, I think. There he is. The Time Attack Type R, top one there.
Okay.
There you go. This dude has this fucking look at this Integra on the top left, K-tuned Integra.
right.
So this guy is fucking sets records at every single racetrack he shows up at.
Wow.
He comes to Grid Life. Do you know what a good lap time is at Road Atlanta?
No, I don't
Have you
know
ever been
any
down
of
there?
this.
So
No.
you're casually familiar with Road Atlanta? So Randy Popst, right, just set the production car record there in a Corvette ZR1. He ran like a 126 point something.
Okay.
This dude's fucking home built Integra, he ran a 23.
Wow.
In this fucking Integra. It's like it shoots fucking fire. This guy is like puts on a clinic every time
Wow.
he rolls up to this Grid Life event and like breaks whatever the record was. I think at Gingerman last year, he set the record 2 years in a row, and he broke the previous record by like 2 seconds. The next year he came back and broke it by like 4 more seconds. It was crazy.
That's how I got into racing. Was I was working at a design agency, or actually a magazine agency in Boulder, Colorado, and I was racing mountain bikes. And one of the designer's husbands was a guy named Kevin Schrantz, who was on Real Time. He was a rookie on Real Time Racing, which is Peter Cunningham's at the time Speed Vision World Challenge team. And he said, "I want you to come down
Speed
to
Vision.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that.
right?
I haven't heard Speed Vision in so fucking long.
And it was like, "Oh, why don't you come down to Colorado Springs? You know, they're at PPIR and they're going to have a race." And so I went down, and it was literally standing on the pit wall, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do this. And plus I watched these guys wrenching on these cars. I'm like, oh, I've been working at bike shops my whole life. This is just righty tighty, lefty loosey with different stuff, and that's when
There's a confidence in it, though.
Yeah, I ended up coming back home, changing my clutch in my Civic Si, joining the SCCA, and I autocrossed a month later, I think. And then the next year got that year got rookie of the year, and then won the championship the next year.
Wow, what was your secret to autocrossing? Autocrossing is really, it's so hard to get that last half a fucking percent. What's the secret?
Here's actually there's a crazy story about this. So I was at a level, and I just heard you talking to Tanner Faust the other day, and they were talking about Paul Gerard.
Yeah.
Who's the Stig? I raced with Mark Gerard, his brother.
Oh, weird.
Like I had no idea, and so here's what happened.
It's a well kept secret.
Yeah. So here's what it was like. There was about 5 of us. There was a couple Civics. There was an Integra, a Subaru Impreza, and a Neon. I think a really nice ACR.
Yeah.
And they were like that was like the top 5 guys in our. It was STS, so it's bolt-on. We were running Falcon Azenas tires with suspension mods, Coney adjustables, and sometimes people get crazy, like triple adjustable, custom,
They're doing like alignments in the parking lot and shit.
Oh, I would do that. Like I would do a race alignment in the parking lot, but like $6,000 shocks for a $2,000 car.
Women's eyes roll back in their head like so
quickly.
fast.
But here's the thing. So we were all grouped within a half a second of each other every race. It's a 13 season race. And these are, if you guys don't know autocross, it's like basically a 1 minute super technical road course. And
in a parking lot.
In a parking lot.
That's the most important thing about autocross.
No,
is that
it's not.
Cones in a parking
It's
lot.
harder than road racing.
I don't give a fuck. So's chess.
All right. Well, so what does that mean?
It's boring.
Autocrossers make better racers.
So?
Racers don't make better autocrossers. Anyway.
So?
All right, go fuck yourself. Anyway, so.
I don't like autocross. It's so boring.
No, it's not. I love it. No, because you can drive at 10/10 the whole time, and that's cool.
I can do that on a racetrack.
Well, it's maybe with somebody else's
That's how you end up crashing into S2000s.
And dead. That's right. Anyway.
10/10, bro.
10/10, bro.
Extreme.
Anyway, so.
What's the secret?
It was, for me, I was so gripped because everything's like literally looking for a 10th in the corner or 2. And we'd walk the course ahead of time, and you're like looking at these apex points and trying to dial in where you're going to go. And I got so gripped about that I forgot to just Starsky and Hutch it and just drive. And the second that I released that, I started going seconds faster than everybody, and that's how I ended up winning the championship.
The key is to fucking
just
not
relax.
Think, be the ball.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just go and just feel it. Just feel it, baby.
Here's the problem I have with autocrossing is there's a certain point. Okay, if the best possible lap at a track is a 50, right, made up, you can get from a 65 to a 51 to a 50 and a half, which takes a lot of skill. But like, I can't even tell the fucking difference between a tenth. Like, and I'm ham-fisted. I need a whole racetrack. I need full seconds to work with.
It's a weird
I need
sort
more
of
manageable
cerebral thing. It's different because it's you're really analyzing on a sort of a micro level, and it's, for me, it always feels like a 60-second car accident.
Yeah,
you just like, you end up and you pull in and you're just shaking and you're like, holy shit, that was crazy.
I do like being in the car for autocross. I actually enjoy because the car's loose the whole time. Really,
you're at every bit of the friction circles, outside edge the whole time.
Right? Yeah. No, that portion of it is fun. Yeah, but like, oh man. So much.
Well, on that show with Tanner, those guys, they were like, start by drifting.
Tangent.
I'm like, you could start by autocross for $35. You go to the BMW CCA, you get 10 runs, you'll wear the fuck out of your tires, but it's a blast. It's so much fun.
Wait, is that a rebuke to what Tanner said? What did Tanner say?
He said you can start with drifting.
As what, a getting into motorsport?
Yeah, getting into motorsport. I'm like, you could do it. You can autocross for $50 on a Sunday.
Someone else on Twitter rebuked as well. They said you get into bracket drag racing for $25 as well.
Like, do something. If you like straight, do that. If you like
bracket drag racing's fun. You know what you can do is you can win money bracket drag racing by bringing like airport rental cars. Like, you can literally be the expert in
believe that.
Kia Sportages and run a 17.6 every time and win money at bracket
I believe
drags.
that. You want to hear about my most blasphemous Porsche idea?
Sure.
So if you think about like the vintage Porsche world, and people get super snooty about it.
Upright, yeah.
Right? So things that are iconic: the motor. Everyone's like the flat six motor. It's the brakes. Brembo Big Reds. They're very known for Porsche. The Fuchs wheels, and then like the Guards Red paint. Every '80s Porsche was in Guards Red. So I'm like, what if I started with a 912? And I did a 400 horsepower turbocharged Subaru motor. So that's blasphemous number one. Yeah. Stop-Tex brakes. These great Mishimoto wheels, I think. They used to be on all the RX-7s. Or the 240Zs rather. They were dope. See if you can find Mishimoto wheels.
I have a Mishimoto radiator in my Mustang. Is it the same company?
I don't know that. I could be getting it wrong. And then Ferrari Red.
I think it's MOTO. Tim.
Yeah, I think he's right.
The way you spelled it is...
No, that might be about right.
I have it.
You have T?
Oh, he's got it. He's got it right. Anyway, I don't see them there, but...
They seem to exist.
I want to make the most blasphemous car ever, and then it's 400 horsepower.
I don't think the brakes are blasphemous. I think you can
Stop-Tex?
What the fuck is blasphemous about Stop-Tex?
Everyone wants you to run turbo at 930 turbo brakes.
Fuck
Everybody cares, Matt Farah.
What? Who is this everybody that
Go to
cares?
any Porsche event and it's.
I don't want to go to an event like that where someone cares
on my
if I have
brakes. I'm like,
Stop-Tex brakes.
Oh, dude,
those people can all suck a dick. I don't care about any of those people. Why do you hang out with those people? Those people sound like they suck,
bro.
There you go.
They hang out with the gray ghost.
There you go.
That's what's up.
I like a Subaru engine. Do a Subaru engine. That sounds great. That's fun.
Or electric.
Do a Subaru engine. Call it the 714.
I'm gonna call it Lastern, which is German for blaspheme.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a place called.
I bet you that's a fun little car.
Oh, dude, it'd be a ripper.
Yeah.
Narrow body Canyon, 400 horsepower, all
That's
modern.
not blasphemous enough, though. What
are you talking about?
I drove a Cayman that had a Ford fucking V8 in it, a Coyote motor.
Oh, that's bad.
And the best part is, it was like the best Porsche ever. It was like driving a Daytona prototype.
Yeah, I believe that.
They pulled out the flat engine. They pulled out that engine revved to 75. This engine revved to 82.
Wow, and a big V8 did
V8
that?
revved higher than and it had air conditioning. And it was a SEMA car. Normally, you touch SEMA cars with real kid gloves because they could fall apart.
I've never been to SEMA before.
You should go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go once. It's hilarious.
Did I see you at the LA Auto Show a couple years ago? Is that where we first connected?
Probably. I try not to go to the LA Auto Show anymore.
I haven't been a couple years.
I try not to go to SEMA either. That's usually what Instagram's for, but I usually end up getting a gig there and going. You should go if you've never gone.
Are you going to Rennsport?
Yeah, this year with the Safari car.
Oh, sick.
I think.
Are you going to
Fingers
try to get into a thing, like a booth or something?
Haggerty. That's a Haggerty thing.
That's dope. What about Car Week?
No.
You're not
Sister
going to
getting
Car Week?
married.
Sister?
Next year.
Come on, sister.
Sister getting married. Congratulations, Alexis.
Come on, sister.
Sister got to get married.
Sister can get married the next week, maybe?
She can't. The Rainbow Room was only available that weekend.
Have you been, I'm sure, a few times?
Oh, to Pebble?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a bunch. It's
the
great
Jet
fun.
Center party
It's great fun.
was the sickest thing I've ever been to. I remember just looking around going, I've never been to a party
Tim,
this
just
cool.
Google pictures of Monterey Jet Center party, Pebble Beach. It's cars and planes and aircraft.
And everybody's beautiful.
Caviar and champagne.
It was crazy.
It's all the pictures are like from the setup.
Oh,
it's like it doesn't look very
gorgeous.
good during the day. At night, that's when it's all like lit
It's
properly.
lit,
It looks
there's
hot.
Modelly people everywhere.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, there's like the hangar where the Bentleys and the Chopards and all that shit.
It was
the
so cool.
washes. I like my favorite event. I think is the historics. I mean, watching the races is awesome, but like, I like going to the auctions and getting fucking drunk.
I've never been to an auction, though.
Oh, it's the best. You're
trying
media.
to go to.
You can go. You can go to all this shit.
I know. I need to do that.
But you also have a little bit of money. So I suggest, even if you don't plan to buy anything, I strongly suggest if you're going to go to auctions to get a bidder's pass.
Oh.
They treat you way better with a bidder's pass than if you're media.
What is that? What does it cost you, $1,000 to get the bidder's pass or something?
No, I don't think it costs anything. They just have to do a financial background check,
Oh,
and
I
you
see.
are only allowed to bid up to what you're approved for.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
I got a pretty you don't have to be a super baller. I got like a reasonable bidder's pass that had like a reasonable, for Pebble Beach limit.
Like, I'm looking for rusty bugs. Do you guys have any of those here?
They have
great.
auctions on like the Wednesday and the Thursday with that they don't get publicized.
Okay.
Like the 20 dopest cars get publicized, but those auctions have hundreds of cars in them. You can buy not normal, still cool, but stuff that's priced at the enthusiast, not crazy person level.
That'd be cool. My buddy knows the McCall's guys, and I'm trying to see if I can get my car into the Jet Center party because his car was in it last year. So
Your
then
car
I
looks
get
cool.
to go.
I think that's probably doable.
Maybe. What'd you think? You took a visual lap around my very packed
Visually,
car.
your car looks excellent.
Okay.
It's got the right stance and wheels and colors and that Wevo shifter I'm getting. Do you like that thing?
I love that thing.
I'm getting that in my car.
It is very direct.
I didn't sit in it, but the seats look snug.
They're good.
Dana, what's the seat report?
Sexy.
Sexy seats?
You gotta go
The houndstooth is nice. I like the houndstooth.
More comfortable on long drives.
Yeah. It looks...
More than leather.
It looks like one would hope a modified car of that period looks. It's great. It looks awesome.
Okay, I wasn't fishing. I was legitimately
I'm a fucking
asking
fan.
your
That thing is
actual...
No, it's just dope. I bet that car is fucking great to drive.
It was cozy. I was kind of
looks really nice.
anticipating being kind of like crunched up in there. But
Yeah.
it's really nice.
My fiance loves my 911. She would go anywhere in that car. Like she isn't not that into cars. She like kind of hates my Mustang. She loves my Mustang when I drive it, but she won't go fucking anywhere in
Is
it.
it your first, the 911?
Yeah, not my last, but it is my first.
You're at the
I'm gonna
edge
get
of the rabbit
another.
hole.
No, I'm gonna get a modern one, a more modern one next.
What era?
I'm debating between a 993, but I'm more tempted to get something with like a DFI car with PDK so that Hannah can drive it. Because Hannah
Get a
wants
997.
Hannah wants a 911.
Yeah.
And we can. Yeah.
I think 997s are where
Yeah.
the enthusiast bargain right now.
I think so too.
Because you don't want a 996, obviously. Even though they're really technically they're fine.
I don't want them.
They
no.
just don't look good at all.
I've driven enough of them. I don't need one of those.
993, my favorite of the early body styles. Not enough juice for what it is, unless you get a turbo. And
I
even
agree.
and even then, it's not quite as. But I think 997, it's refined and it's.
That's
it's nice
kind of
car.
where I'm leaning.
And they're not that much. They're like 30 grand, 35 grand.
That's kind of where I'm leaning.
Yeah.
Possibly a GTS.
Yeah,
Possibly
those are cool.
GTS are
I
good.
like the Caymans a lot too.
Caymans are fun.
Like it just seems like a rad. If you're gonna get a 2-seater car that's
Yeah.
not crazy expensive,
Yeah.
man, does it handle?
Caymans are fun. For me, 911s are a little more comfortable than Caymans.
Have you done the Experience Center yet?
I've been there. I haven't driven it. It looks dope. I have a couple
Yeah.
friends who work there. It looks cool as shit.
You know Jack Olson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling
I'm
me. about
getting Porsche press cars in July.
Oh.
I'm getting the Cayman GTS and then Carrera T in July.
Oh,
I'm very,
really?
very excited.
it. What is the Carrera T?
The Carrera T is an alternative to a Carrera S. So it has a base Carrera engine, but it has like lightweight doors, lightweight glass, different gearing, and some other things.
Is there going to be an E? Are they just going to bring back the T, the E,
No,
and the S?
The E is going to be when they come out with an electric 911. That's going to be the E. There's still an S.
Right.
I don't know right now. I don't know. This is priced like halfway between a Carrera and an S.
Huh.
So like I don't know. The question is, do you just get the S instead of getting this? But like we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited to try it.
Oh,
Seems
that'd be
cool. Yeah,
It does seem cool. They did a nice job with it.
It looks good. The people who have driven it have seem to have enjoyed it. So okay.
I'll learn about it from Spike. And
I got a base Carrera press car when they first came out. It was like 94 grand. It was just a regular Carrera with a manual, sport seats, sport exhaust, nothing else.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Awesome. No extra leather, manual seats. It was great. And I would spend money on that all day fucking long. It was so much fun.
They did. You know, it's so weird. Of all the other marks, they've done something so. And I know you guys are probably really sick of hearing Porsche stuff, but they really did do something special. Like they really did. They have a very special, almost mystique to the company and to the way the cars.
To me, it's
drive.
not even a mystique. To me, it's just like you start driving the 911s and the Caymans, and you go, "Well, why aren't all cars just made like this? This makes way more sense than what everybody else is doing."
My first,
That's how I feel about
2003
it.
was my first 911. I had a 1972 narrow body 911T with a 3-liter, and I'd just been driving around my neighborhood for Boulder for a month, and I autocrossed it. First time I autocrossed it, and I was on the way out on my first run, and I go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's what they did."
Yeah.
And I didn't know ahead of time, but it was almost like, oh, I bought a Greyhound and it's just been in the cage, and then I just let it out, and I was like, oh, it was like the movie Contact. Remember the movie Contact, where when the chair breaks away and everything gets totally cool, and I was like, oh, you mean when you really push it, this thing just slows down. It was really cool, and I think that's always the thing about the 911, where when you're exiting a corner and it feels like it's pushing on the small of your back, like almost like a motorcycle wheeling out. You go, yes, that is so dope.
Yeah,
and I don't know, man. There's just something about it.
I like that. That's true. All those things are true.
Yes. Well, I've driven one.
I drive so many cars that I find that because cars are getting fatter and wheels are getting bigger, that front engine rear drive or front engine front drive or whatever, your typical layout type cars, they have to make the suspensions like crazy. What do you want to do? Picture? Crazy stiff. Whereas mid and rear engine cars can just use like longer, better geometries, so they have like more suspension travel without. You know what I mean? Like the Lotus I have right now, or like the Ferraris or the 911s or the Caymans, like they can ride well and handle well. Like the Lotus, I just met up with my friends in the Canyons yesterday. These two guys who have NSXs, like modified, like track day NSXs.
Love those things.
One is supercharged, and one is NA, but they're both modified. And then my friend Nick with a Cayman GT4, and we were swapping cars with the Lotus Evora, and they were all like blown away with like how well, myself included, with how well the Lotus handles compared to how well it rides, and the fact that it has no adjustability at all. Just a standard Bilstein shock. Like, and it's like, wait a minute, what? Like, why does that work? And it's like, because the fucking geometries are good and the car's really light.
Scale of 1 to 10, your overall car knowledge and driving talent before the one takes and after the one takes.
Well, I don't know about driving talent. Most of the one takes did not push my driving ability in any way.
Okay.
Most, because you're driving borrowed cars, so you're driving well within your limits. I'm much more comfortable driving a press car at a limit, or a race car that I'm there to drive at a limit, than I am driving any personal dude's borrowed car.
Right.
And certainly not on the street. But knowledge, fuck yeah, so
be
much.
able to just get into a car.
Not
now.
only that I've always kind of had the ability to just get in a car and just drive, like, and talk. Like,
I don't have that. I don't have that at all.
That is
like all that the breadth of your knowledge of just being able to get in and go, I know what this feels like.
It's experience.
Yeah.
It's so many fucking hours.
Thousands of cars.
So many.
It's amazing.
But what I've really appreciated, it really has made me appreciate driving this Lotus for 3 weeks and doing all this track shit. What's really made me appreciate that you actually do need to spend more time than just those 15 minutes to really understand the car.
Right.
It's a great appetizer. And look, if I was going to air 4 videos a week, there'd be no fucking way to spend real time with any of those cars. It's just not possible. But the fact that I've gotten to do this with this Lotus is pretty sweet.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. And that's just going to keep coming. That's what's cool about it, is that you're at this point now. I mean, if you're getting press cars, period. I have a friend called Mia Voss, and she has a blog called Mia Voss on the Go. And she decided a few years ago that she just wanted to travel and get paid to travel, and now that's what she does. She goes to different hotels, does wine experiences, gets press cars, and just blogs about it and tweets and does social media about it. That's her job.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she made in 2016, 2015.
It is possible to do these things.
But man, the press car thing has to be one of the best.
The press car
perks.
thing is up there with the best of business perks. The only business, like, I don't even want to think about a jet. A jet would be better than press cars, but not even by much. Like, press cars are, because you're obviously, to do this job, you have to be very into cars to do it, because to get to the point where you're getting press cars at all, you have to write a whole shitload about cars without making any money.
I need more than 253 subscribers.
Without anybody reading. Yeah, I mean, you have to get to a point to get anything. But once you get press cars, and then once you start getting the good ones.
Right.
That now, like, not even humble brag, straight brag. My summer is gangster with press cars. I mean, I have a month in a Lotus. I have 2 different weeks in Porsches, a week in a Range Rover, and then a week in a McLaren 720. Between now and August. And I'm driving race cars at the Nürburgring, driving around Europe in a Volvo XC90.
I got a sticker for you.
I'll get you a sticker.
Yeah,
I'll get you another sticker for the other side.
For the other side.
But like, so my year of press cars is gangster right now. That is by far.
Sounds dope.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
But it's press cars are so awesome, but the press car doesn't pay your mortgage and it doesn't put food on the table. It's what you do with the press car that does those things.
Right.
So.
And you have to you can't just be showing up at the club every night. You got to be actually doing some work with it. You know what I mean?
The club.
The club.
Please, the club.
Showing up at the club.
We're going to wrap this show up with a little bit of Haggerty love. Oh, wait, hang on. We just finish up. John K. Thank you for thanking me for owning up to my Lotus crash, explaining what times I ran. My best time was a 25.4 on Cup 2s, and it was my second lap of the entire day. And once the track was super fucking hot, it was 107 the whole day, and I couldn't break under the 26s after that. And also shout out to the guys whose names I don't remember, but they were pitted next to me from Paradise Chevrolet. There was a team of like techs, and after I had the little rubbins racing with the S2000s, these dudes realigned the Lotus with no tools.
Wow.
In the parking lot, straight up by hand.
Visual.
Yo, and fucking nailed it, by the way. Aced it.
Did they have a plumb or anything?
Nothing. Eyeball, hand tools, not even hand tools, hands and eyeballs, and aced it.
Wow.
Car drove great.
Wow. Okay. So this people can spend $1 or $2 or whatever.
They can make a donation and ask us a question.
They can ask a question. Ah, that's cool. Right on.
Yeah. And then what was the end? I think someone wanted to say, are we going to have Savage Geese on the show? Yes. As a matter of fact, we are. And I can tell you the fucking date. It's when I have the McLaren. He's coming while I have the McLaren, and I look at my calendar right now.
You do that. I'll read the last one.
The week of June 25th.
Okay.
Savage Geese will be on the podcast. Wrap it up with the Haggerty. Tim, I'm not going to do the one I said I'm going to do. I'm going to do the one next to it because we were talking about Targa, because the article I want to talk about from the Haggerty newsletter at Haggerty.com/newsletter, where it's not just insurance, it's also cool car shit. It really is, I swear.
Haggerty's rad. They come to all the events.
All my friends work there now. They picked up like half my friends.
They come to I go to so many vintage car events.
Yeah.
Like
they rock it.
So they're always there. They're always, they always want to chat. They're very knowledgeable, and
about 50% of the people who come on this show have Tim. It's 50% of the people who come on this show have at least one car insured under Haggerty.
Oh,
what are we looking at there?
There's a piece of hair
the
whole time.
You fuzzed my mic there. Thank you for being so OCD about that. The tips for caravanning together in vintage cars on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the article, and we don't have to. I don't want to go through the article because I suggest you go to Haggerty.com and check out Rob Siegel's version of that. I think you and I should come up with our own list of tips. I've done, when I was younger, Gumball, Bull Run, that kind of shit. I've put on drives like this. You've done a bunch of Targa events. What are some advice for people who are going on an event like this? How to not be a complete dickbag on the road?
Get either Motorola, those little walkie-talkies.
Yeah, walkies are great.
Or Voxer.
What's Voxer?
VOXER is just like a walkie-talkie on your phone.
Oh, really?
But you can put groups.
Like, where you at?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's really good. So it's...
what were those called?
What?
Nextels. The Nextels.
Yeah. Right.
Where you at?
So I really like those because then you can obviously communicate with people.
Yeah.
And then it's also... The typical, at least in our world, the typical caravan is moving generally faster than the rest of the traffic.
Yeah.
So it's rare that we're holding someone up. It's more like someone's up someone's butt. So we'll pull over and the last guy will make sure that he knows where the last car is. Like, so he says, all right, we got a semi coming up, go, go, go. And then 6 of us can go and have space between the front car and the back car. So that's
if
the thing.
If you can manage that you need radios for that.
You need
one.
radios for that. Radios thing is pretty key.
Radios, you could write 4,000 words like Rob Siegel, or you can just say radios.
Yeah, have some radios.
A smart leader in radios. As someone who's led these drives, like lane discipline is super important. Like pass left, stay right. Like, and also like, even if you're in vintage cars, people are a little more and will let you get away with being more of a dick on the road. If you're in modern cars, if you're in a fucking M3 Forum drive, the truckers will have no patience for you.
We get a lot of thumbs up because the cars are on this Targa. They have to be 1974 or older.
Yeah.
So
the
there's
older
a lot
the
of
car,
rad
the fewer the
BMWs
rules.
and Alphas and Porsches, and it's like all pretty like it's cool, but. Yeah, I think those two are big, and then we certainly don't. Often we're traveling on roads that aren't generally well traveled. We're in the middle of the woods and the twisty windies out there in the netherworld.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen quite as much. I don't know, making sure your car is up to date. I'll tell you one thing not to do, and I won't go into too many specifics. Did you actually see Derek's movie?
I did, yes. I watched it.
Did they have any footage that was of a particular car that
there
didn't make it home?
Yeah, there was. There was a bit of a boo-boo. There was kind of a fucking huge, nasty boo-boo.
Yeah. And
where I was like, is that guy dead?
And everybody was that. And here's what's crazy about that is that in that particular case, the confluence of different things that had to happen for that dude to be alive right now boiled down to a rock on Pershing Avenue in San Diego on a rainy day. If that rock wasn't right where it was, that guy probably would not have made it.
Oh,
back.
now I need to know the story. Can you boil it down? Because you know what you just discussed. You just talked about the quarter. All of the Back to the Future trilogy is based on giving the quarter to the guy to save the clock tower.
Oh, I forgot.
The entire 3 movies. If he doesn't give him the quarter, they don't happen.
So
continue. The Rock on Pershing Avenue in San Diego.
Guy, a good buddy of mine, who's a cardiologist, is driving his 912 2 days before the Targa, getting it ready for the Targa.
Yeah.
Takes a little test lap, hits a rock in the middle of Pershing, which cracks his oil pan or something in the bottom of his case.
Yeah.
He takes it in, can't take the 912 anymore. So now he has to take what would become the only 4-door, 4-passenger vehicle on the Targa, which is a mid-80s BMW.
Okay.
Which also happens to be air-conditioned and much faster and much more easy to drive than what he was going to drive. He was one of the first people, seconds after this guy had crashed the car, that happened to be there. And not only could he take care of him because he was a cardiologist, but they had a back seat so he could elevate his leg.
The back seat.
Elevate his leg and take care of him while the other guy drove.
It was because he brought a fast saloon car instead of a 912 that this guy is alive?
It wasn't a saloon. It was it was a BMW.
That's fast compared to a 912.
That's true. Yes, and so then now he's got this doctor that's able to take care of him and elevate his leg and really watch his vitals in the back seat while the other dude drives him to the hospital. Then they medevaced him to San Diego.
That is gangster.
I know.
That's gangster.
Crazy. So the moral of the story is don't drive like an asshole either.
Yeah.
This guy was making a multiple car pass, and we were already all going 100.
Dude, the multiple car passes on the 2 lanes are where the really horrific accidents happen. Like, that's when that scenario, it happens like in Utah or fucking Texas or Mexico or these fast 2 lanes. And it's like, that's when you really have to be like, it's a rally, not a race.
Do you see what happened to the guy's car?
It's like blew into a million pieces.
But no, it got cut in half by a trailer. So this is an empty trailer.
Yeah.
Oops, hold on.
It's fucked.
An empty trailer that had been towing like a Baja truck.
Oh my god! It's like where that offset crash. Pull this up to this camera.
Is that? I don't know if they want me to do that.
Oh yeah, do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if
it's in the fucking video. It's in the film.
All right.
That's right. I've seen that picture before.
Okay. All right. So I will.
It's
Hold on, let me get this.
It's pretty. You have to get rid of the text message for sure. It's like. A full third of the car is just the entire front left, from the center of the hood to the left edge of the driver's seat is missing.
Like they cut it with a buzzsaw. Like, I mean, it just
Fucked
sliced.
up.
So what happened was, he was in the left lane. He wasn't supposed to be, obviously. He's in the oncoming lane. There's a truck that had an empty trailer because it had towed a Baja truck up, and it was going back to retrieve it. The truck swerved, the trailer swung, and the swinging corner of the trailer is what sliced off the left side of the car. And so
And how is he?
the guy's
driver.
leg was, I mean, it was hit, but unequivocally he could have been cut in half without any problem. I mean,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, yeah,
And so
no.
I don't know. I've heard he's had a couple surgeries and he's a little limpy, but I mean, I think you're happy to
hell.
walk with a cane or whatever. I don't
Jesus,
know, whatever
after
it is.
that in Mexico.
In Mexico. The fact that he was in like a San Diego hospital in 2 hours was a miracle.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a
Rock and
miracle.
Pershing.
Rock and Pershing. And I don't even know if he knows that. That's what's
so
crazy. Yeah.
That's
That movie
crazy.
Sliding Doors. You know?
So the
Just like-
biggest rule of driving in any group event is just don't drive like a dickhead.
be really safe.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go on 3 racetracks.
Parties are so much fun when someone doesn't almost die on the way to the party.
Yeah. But we're going to race on 3 racetracks. We're going to be on tracks.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be able to get my car slide around. It'll be fine. Otherwise, I have a human being in the
Yeah.
passenger seat.
Please take good care.
Right. It's just, if something stupid happens or breaks or whatever, it's just not worth
It's
it.
weird.
So,
People get in over there. They really get, you get that running of the bulls.
There's a
kind
lot of
fucking
testosterone.
mentality. There's a lot of egos, a lot of testosterone.
group.
It's real gnarly.
I'm so
it's
excited.
real. It's very fun. Like it's also like there's definitely elements of it that are fun. When you got a group of like 20 cars that are on an open road cruising at 100 and no one else is around, if you're really in the middle of nowhere, like it's very exhilarating. And like for the most part, that is safe. But like when you're on those 2 lanes and people start doing these 3 and 4 car passes and you see one guy get a little close and all of a sudden the gaps get bigger and you go, okay, let's not fucking die in this desert today.
right.
You
I'm
know?
very street cautious and track aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a way to stay alive.
I'm much more so as I'm not old by any means, but in my 20s, it was like, fuck it, go, Now I'm like, nah, I have a couple of things to live for.
If you look at my Instagram, I went off the edge of a cliff in Boulder.
Really? How far back do we have to look for that?
I don't know, midway through. But what happened was I was following my buddy JJ at Collier Brands, actually a dope Instagram to follow, at Collier Brands. He's a designer, but he's a rad car guy too. He was in front of me on Sugarloaf Road in Boulder, and we were just beginning and ripping up. And there was a 17-year-old kid that was looking out the window at the scenery, had fully drifted into our lane. So he swerved to miss him. I swerved to miss JJ and went right over the edge of the cliff.
Oh, God.
And I'll show you the picture.
How'd you enjoy that half a second in the air?
Well, I thought I was dead.
Yeah.
And the only reason I wasn't dead is because my car got caught in tree branches.
Oh, just sheer luck?
And then it was 75 feet down. So here's my angle. I'm at what is that? More than 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm at this angle, and the tree branches just caught me, and that was
Wow.
That was
There's this dude, I filmed his car. His name was Jimmy. And he's pointing back up. And Jimmy's there's a pretty well-known video on YouTube going around of Jimmy's car. He fucking gets like blinded by the light coming out of a tunnel on Angeles Crest and sails his Subaru Forester off a cliff and lands on like a cement thing that's the only thing around that keeps him from going 500 feet.
Have you seen the Pikes Peak crash?
Yeah,
Where the guy
yeah. With the
spins
Evo?
1,000 times, and, and then he gets out.
Yeah,
You know
roll cage is amazing.
I bolted mine in yesterday because I said, you know what? We're at three tracks, a bunch of days.
Yeah.
It's a bolt-in roll bar, so it's not as much
Your
as a full
head's
cage.
nowhere near it, right?
But no, but it's so much better than, I just feel better having it in there.
A full cage is a really nice thing. So anyway, tips for there's a couple. Don't be an asshole. Make your car as safe as possible. Make your mental state as good as possible. Get your ego out of it. Enjoy the scenery. Don't race anybody. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Drive like the people around you have parents and daughters.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All those things.
Michael O'Neill, the Solopreneur Hour podcast. Plug it all right now. What do you want to plug? Are you just plugging Wrench right now?
This is a car thing, man.
You can plug your
All right.
day job.
Day job is at Solo Hour. On
Solo
all,
Hour.
HOUR. Yeah,
Yes.
On all the things.
And Wrench on YouTube. Follow. Wait, is it youtube.com/ No, it's not.
If you go to
search, right?
wrench.com/, yeah, I don't have a.
You got to search for it right now.
RENNCH.
Custom URL. How long have you been a channel for?
like a week and a half.
Okay, 30 days, you'll get a custom URL.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I'll get there.
You'll get there.
I only have 250 subscribers.
You'll have more. I bet you have more right now than you did before.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe I have like 259. Let's
Refresh
see. What am I at?
that page. I bet you do.
What am I at?
I bet someone subscribed to you.
Sweet, I'm
Five
at
more.
258
You got five
now.
more.
Yes.
That's something.
That's what we call leverage and
Yeah.
pull in
Yeah.
the industry, ladies and gentlemen.
Go subscribe, people.
Five.
Thanks for coming, Michael.
Thanks,
Good to
dude.
see you.
It was super
Enjoy
fun.
the event. You have an open invite, of course, anytime you like.
Thank you very much. Tim, thank you for all your knob turning.
Thank you, brother. Happy
you-
to turn knobs.
How you like that wireless mouse, son?
I think we need a mouse that has two separate buttons.
It does have two separate buttons.
Or potentially.
You're just not.
Or potentially it's.
It
a
does
soft-
have two separate
it may
buttons.
be
You
a
just haven't
software thing.
programmed them for working yet, but they do. You don't worry, buddy. You'll get there.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, buddy. Dana,
Lovely to be here.
enjoy
Thank
your
you.
trip. Thanks for stopping by. All right, Smoking Tire Podcast was, and probably will always be powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is something to say and a microphone to say it into, and then Shout Engine makes the whole rest of it take like 5 minutes. It did when I started my new watch podcast. It's very easy. Check it out. Watch and listen if you're into watches.
I want to subscribe to that one.
You want to come do the watch show? You're a watch nerd too,
Yeah.
right? We can
Yeah.
get you on the watch show. We got to get
Great.
a topic that fits your collection and your interests. That's
Yeah.
we do it topical over there. It's
NATO
not just-
straps.
It's not. You want to do a whole 40
A
minutes
whole
on NATO
40 minutes on
straps.
NATO straps.
Oh, we're gonna get audience on that one. All right, thanks, live folks. Thank you for the super chats. It has been fun, and I will see you next time. Good day.